All right. Hello. Welcome everyone back to a Thursday edition of the Happy Hour Show. Big K, how you doing over there?
Fantastic. I mean, I actually pull back. That's what I always say. It's been ups and downs. There's been lots of travel. There's been lots of things happening. So, I'm here. I was sick for like 3 days. The family is all sick and shit. So it was not easy, but like I said, I'm here. Whether that matters or not, we'll find out.
That was one heck of a self intro. Thank you for that. Hexy Bastard, how you doing down there?
Hey, good man. Good. Thanks for having me. Very tired, but I'm good.
Tired due to plebbing?
Yes. Lots of very, very late nights. Barely any sleep. It's just been.
Thus the glasses at like 10 p.m. over there. Well, you're always wearing the glasses. It's the look. It's the brand, right?
So, yeah, absolutely, man. And the hat. Don't forget the hat. I got about 10 of these now.
Always the hat. Patrick Hexlion, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hello. Awesome to be back on the channel, Cabana. Hi to Big K. Hi to Hexy Bastard as well. Maybe Motley joins in a little later. And yes, I'm doing pretty good. And let's see, what do you have for us today, Cabana?
I don't know. I mean, Hexy Quinn came to party, so I mean, Big K looks like
I will do my best to kick it up a notch.
Hexy Bastard and myself are having some fun beverages here on a Thursday, but that's bad. What else is going on here in chats? Cabana stream on time. I mean, like 10-ish after. We try to get everyone in the green room. So, Mango, what's up, Mango? And all you guys making fun of me in the chat for being the usual, 5:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start. That's what we do. Rick, Motley's somewhere. He said he'd be here, so
yeah, we were jamming to the DJ. We had to let him.
Yeah.
Oh, I see him. He's in the chat right now. What's up, DJ?
There we go. We just got the raid, the official raid from DJ Cryptomatic. So what is up, everybody? Sith Master Hex and everybody who was over there hanging out with some interesting music. Crypto Krill shouting out all the plebs. We will get into that. I think Hexy Bastard, rumor has it that you have some pretty funny stuff to share later on in the show. Might those rumors?
I mean, I found them funny.
Well, if you find them funny, I think I'm gonna find them funny. But
yeah. We had like a little competition for pleb flexes. So I narrowed it down.
I can only imagine where that went. So
there was supposed to be like 3 winners, but we've ended up going with about 10 because they were just too good.
Oh, that's awesome.
I feel bad half the ones that we have to leave out. So it's pretty good.
That shit's killer when you got good content rolling in like that. It's fire.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I love my plebs, man.
Oh, you people in chat saying Motley got turned in. Yeah. But I mean, in similar news, I mean, you just segued it for me, and I love it when you guys do that. So, Big K, what the heck is going on down in Puerto Rico? Or do you know anything about this MakerDAO co-founder stuff? Because, man, this story is a weird one. You go to Cointelegraph, and it's just this, news story. Oh, well, it's horrible. He went out into the sea and drowned, and that's that. But if you go to, say, another outlet and read a different version of the story, perhaps like Be in Crypto, Twitter speculates about CIA involvement, like what is going on. And the weirdest part is the guy tweeted like 3 days before, CIA and Mossad and Pedo Elite are running some kind of sex trafficking, entrapment, blackmail ring out of Puerto Rico and Caribbean islands. They are going to frame me with a laptop planted by my ex-girlfriend who was a spy. They will torture me to death. The fuck is this?
I cannot confirm nor deny the involvement of any of the. I have no idea. I'm not trying to comment on any of that.
You try to get us in trouble, Cabana, man.
Yeah,
be careful with this shit, man. Like
shit's wild. Shit's wild.
Twitter was ablaze. So
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's just weird, you know.
I fully agree. It's
yeah,
the
it's
world's
strange.
a crazy place, man.
Nothing, you know, I want any stakes in, but man, just coincidental, or you know, maybe he predicted his own demise.
I mean, I'm not here to make a judgment on any of this, but I will say that, like, and like, I'm not saying either way, like, sometimes people are crazy and do crazy things, without thinking, and then spin crazy webs in their mind and everything. I don't know. Like I said, I have no idea. That maybe that was the case. Maybe that they did kill. Maybe he just was a dick. I have no idea. I'm not here to what am I supposed to say about that? Please, like. I will say, what I will say though.
What will you say?
That area of Condado that he was found is super well known for. I mean, like 8 people like a year get like sucked out there because it's super touristy area, and the undertow is super bad. It's not like a joke area. So like, yeah. I mean, it's not the area that if I
like
was
bad riptide kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's definitely the kind of spot out of all the places where I'm pretty sure the most people like eat it here a year, and it's, I mean, like as far as in accidents like that. So like, I mean, I'm not like, it's not the place I would choose to like frequent for my morning swim. There's also this pipe down there, man, that like when I was staying in those condos that like straight up lets out, I don't know when or why or who's opening the valve on it, but it's the doo-doo water area. Like that's like the part where when I was like, oh man, there's this weird pipe right by. I was staying in a condo. What condo is it? Ashford Place, something or another.
It's right there in Ashford. Smelling salt water.
And I was like, this is a crazy giant pipe that's just leading out to the ocean. What's it do? And then you can go look up videos on it online. They're out there too. But like, it just, I mean, releases the worst kind of kraken you can imagine at whatever points in time. That I don't know if it's I don't know when they're allowed to do that, but they do. I do.
I see what you did there.
And so again, whether it be the riptides or whether it be the fact that within, I don't know, that Condado Beach within a kilometer each side, there's a doo-doo pipe in the middle of it that I wouldn't particularly choose that beach to hang out at. But that's me. That's just me.
I don't know who would choose to hang out at a doo-doo beach.
I mean, tourists that probably rent, condos and beach
that
spots
don't know any better.
Along there that don't know any better, and they're like, "Oh, is it playing on the pipe?" And because I have seen people like walking around, hanging out around the pipe, and like, I wouldn't. That's not where I'd be hanging out. But again, hey.
So what you're saying is that the doo-doo got him.
That's a possibility.
That's a possibility too. Some serious brown tide.
Choked on some doo-doo.
Yes, you have the red tide on the Florida Gulf Coast, and you have the brown tide at the Granada. So there you go. We've solved the mystery. There it is. Death via brown tide.
It's a bit weird that he puts a tweet like that out, though. I mean, that's
super weird.
Very weird.
I mean, even if he was just chatting out of his ass, if there was anything like that going on down there, he's just put a target on himself. So, like, fuck you, dead boy. Maybe it was another Clinton hit list type affair.
You never know. Perhaps it'll get dug up someday. The connection there. Yeah, or the doo-doo. There you go. So many puns like PP coin. But anyway, Danny boy, so stoked. Catch this live as YouTube never gives me notifications. Well, happy to have you, my friend. So Torin, when I lived in Hawaii, crazy currents, people who live there long knew where to go and where not. Yeah, I mean, that's true. But I think this guy was a resident, so you think that he would know about it, which makes it perhaps a little bit more weird. But anyway, let's move on to some more fun stuff. Patrick, there's a nice documentary, I guess, called a series that's we've been seeing come out slowly on YouTube. 8-Bit and I were messaging and we couldn't line up getting him on the stream, but thank you for coming on here, and hopefully just give us a intro and summary as to the final product that we are now starting to see slowly rolled out on YouTube?
So over the course of the 5555 tour, we went 20,000 miles through the states over 40 cities, and at each and every stop we made interviews with the Hexicans, and interviewed like everybody on our nice equipment, and asking them a few questions about Hex. And now Abit is going through all those terabytes of content and is putting together a documentary out of it, and is putting together a few episodes for a few seasons with a few episodes each one. He's already edited the first two. He's now editing like the third season, and there will be like 4 or 5 in total.
Nice. So does it go, I guess, in order of the way you did the tour, or is it just all different footage put together?
It's like what so Abit is looking it up, like hard drive by hard drive, and then like he puts together the best things which he thinks. So for example, now in the first season we started off with some people like from the middle of the tour. So from where? From Albany, for example.
Okay, nice. And you said how many episodes total will there be? I guess he's doing them in groups. Is that right?
Yeah. He makes like seasons out of it with 5 episodes each, or 5. I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
That's all right. See, we already have the Pulse. Pulse Tube.
You should go to YouTube and look up KSB TV, and then you will see yourself. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, then you get even like more videos already available.
And you can also go to ksb.tv, which is the website, correct? So for all sorts of information, we have more things to talk about on that website later in the show.
Yes.
But the Pulse Tube right here, awesome. I'll make you a special page on the Pulse Tube for your documentary. There you go. Networking in action.
And one more thing to those videos, you can those are like short videos, and you might want to look it up. And some of those introductions, for example, or short videos, you can also use if you want to onboard people into Hex, because that's like what early Hexicans are saying about Hex. After being invested for a year and a half or 2 years, how Hex changed their life and so on. And now, at a 90% drop from the all-time high, it's definitely a good time to increase your own onboarding again.
Agreed. And I think I've mentioned this maybe a few weeks back, like just it's like pulling teeth trying to get previous onboards to average down, say they were in the teens or something.
It's hard to onboard in the bear market. It's like nobody wants to listen, because it's like, no, the prices are down, why should I buy now?
Well, that, and if you get more lower, then you don't have to go all the way back up to your level or close to your level with staking. I mean, if you're staked, you don't really have to get into your initial price. So it's like that compounding effect. So you could get there less than halfway to where you were and be whole and, be golden.
I don't know why that's such a weird thing with like normal people who don't do crypto. Like you try and explain, anyone I speak to about crypto now, they're like, oh, but it's a bad time to buy crypto, right? And I'm like, what? You said what? When it's cheap, you don't want to buy it when it's cheap. Like you want to buy it when it's expensive, right? But everyone just has this like natural reaction to like be against buying cheap stuff. They only care when like. It was a bit like me when I got into Bitcoin, 42K. Like, come on, man. The only reason I bought it is because I was like, fucking hell, it's 42K. That's crazy. I need to buy some of that. And it's like, I knew about it when it was like $1. I didn't even think about buying it back then.
Did you get it on the way up or down?
On the way up.
Nice.
So I got like a nice 1.5x and then went all the way down again. So,
did you hold it round trip?
Oh yeah, I held it. Okay. Well, actually, I found Hex and Richard Hart after it had crashed to 30. So then I took my little tiny bit that I had remaining and shoved it all into Hex, and then I kind of did the same thing with that. I rode it all the way up and then all the way back down again.
Well, that's just
Awesome.
the way it works, and I again, it sucks that you know you're trying to help people with their investment future, their financial future, and
Well,
you lead them to the trough, and then they take a sip, and then they're like, "Cool, thanks," and then things happen, and they're just like, "Well, I don't know about this," even though
yeah, I hear that, but I will say that that it's just a natural. I mean, I think it's because of everything. Usually, when prices are all going down, it's a sign of lots of people losing wealth in a lot of different places, or with their paper wealth, and so like it causes this mentality of. I mean, the people that get the most likes, retweets, and clicks right now are the people like pronouncing more and more doom and gloom, and that eventually turns around, or it like always has in the past. So like, at what point in time do you stop listening to the doom and gloomers? And usually just the market is in the, when everyone says sell, that's when you should be buying. It's just,
yeah,
it's
and
a mentality thing.
You made a good point there. I mean, just say yesterday's perfect example of say all the markets touching each other. So we had this Fed decision, and then we went massively down, and I'm like, I bet you Hex is going to go down to 4 cents again. And sure enough, it goes right back down because people feel poorer. Maybe some Hexkins do, and or traders, and they sell out of it because like, well, I don't know what the market's going to do, so I'm going to take my money back out, and then the same thing on the way back up. You feel richer, and so you feel like you can part with some of this discretionary or trading income, and you plow it back in, and it's just like this cycle that some people, I guess it's their thing, but most, like Richard Hart says, they get ground up, and it's a hard way to try to make money. So
yeah, playing the breakout is a lot harder than people think. It really is not. It's not nearly as clear cut as everyone wants to make it seem.
That's right. Crypto Sloth, what's going on? Crypto Cashew, hello. What else have we got going on in the community? Like I was saying in the green room, not too much to talk about this week, but Big K, something that you know of, and that is this little thing right here. I think it's called the highest of stakes or something like that.
I do.
You do.
I am aware of some of this.
Yeah. So I guess they updated their website earlier this week and mistakenly put the year 2024 for the release, and then all of Hexagon Twitter just like,
oh my god, it was just like hot.
One question to that
was just outrage marketing, guys. Isn't that what we do?
That's right.
Was it a mistake or was it just marketing? Because it made a lot of but it made a lot of noise, It made a lot of noise.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's my outrage marketing, maybe. No, I don't know. That is definitely like, I don't think that was intentional. But the rest of the post, man, let me tell you, I had some opportunity to be a little bit of part of all this. Like I went down to Nashville and got to watch the orchestra.
Is that the photo that we have here in this?
Yeah, that photo and that video that y'all saw, I was actually like standing right behind Patrick for that, like in the room with the orchestra for that shot. It was impressive. I mean, just nice. Let me tell you, I'm like, as a fan of music and musical endeavors of all kinds, live and recorded and the rest, I've been a part of studio recordings or been in there for bands performing and recording, and this was nothing like that. It was really like something special. I had never been a part of like a 40-piece orchestra recording like that. Not only just recording that, but like learning the material, and then not just being good with the material, but I mean, the Hannah and the composer and the orchestrator were in the booth with us, and they were just, I mean, they would be like calling, like they'd say, okay, do 15 through 29 again, and the orchestra would kill it. It'd sound perfect to me. And she'd be like, no, we need to change on 16 through 18, change the violas to the violins. And let's move that on 19, that B sharp up to a flat. And let's change this octave higher for these violins. And like the whole orchestra, boom, would kill it. Like you just as quick a directions as that. They'd make the changes and crush it. And then like just one thing after another like that. It was the most like impressive group of artists really putting something together that I was thoroughly impressed with not only their skills, their ability to deliver but the content. Like I went in there wondering, I mean, I even mentioned to them, I was like, I hope this doesn't suck, you know, like I really hoped it didn't. And like, I not only was, cause like I liked some of the original music we had as like stand-in stuff for the, you know, what y'all saw on the teasers and stuff. But they blew it out of the water. Like it's leaps and bounds better than what was there before, and fits so perfectly. So like I was very, very impressed and blown away just by like that. Like that was an experience that, you know, is a legendary the studio is in Ocean Way is a legendary studio. It's amazing. This old like converted church is so like just round of applause to everyone involved in being a part of making that production, this part of the production a thing. I like just getting the chance to sit in with it was something that I will for sure remember forever. Like there's no forgetting that stuff. That was great. So yeah,
awesome. And
I can't wait for y'all to see, even like I said, like the scenes of all that being done, all the, you know, making of all that kind of stuff is so cool, so interesting. I mean, I'm just happy to be a fly on the wall for some of that.
BK, do we know like how long the documentary will be in total? Will it be like 45 minutes or less?
No, I think I'm pretty sure. I mean, I have no exactly idea what the final whatever, but I mean, they're going for a full feature length film. So like, I mean, expect to be fully entertained.
Oh, more like 90 minutes or like
something like, I think it's somewhere around there. I'm not exactly, like I said, I'm not exactly sure of the exact length, but I know it was like over an hour when I was like, you know, so yeah, it's going to be full length. I mean, there's so much, and even at that, you know, it's like there's so much material that was in it there that was recorded. Like there's so much that we got. Like it's just, it's even honing it down.
You do
to
like
that
a series, really, like a web series or something with all the extra stuff that you have to have, like just in the
they could do so much with it all. It's true for sure.
Yeah. Could we possibly see something like that with all the footage that was? I mean, there has to be days worth of footage.
I know that there's going to be, I'm sure that there's going to be something, you know, I mean, but I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know. You've seen them kind of like put out little clips and teasers and social media stuff along the way. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some more of that, but I honestly don't know what the plan is. And I know it has a lot to do with who's going to, what level it gets put out at, and who all, you know, buys it and wants to, you know, do whatever they want with it, you know, so.
And Hannah, the composer that you mentioned, I was just reading, like she wrote all the music for this. Like it wasn't just stuff that she had like sitting around. Like she wrote it for this.
This was all custom done. Like she got a screening and wrote everything for what she was, you know, so like it's incredibly well timed. I mean, just the ways of the, like, you know, the parts that you want people to like hear properly are made for people to be able to hear the important information, you know, proper. Like like I said, I couldn't have been more impressed.
Your Hexcellence and Crypto T ask, has a location for the premiere been decided?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I mean, I know that they would love to be in a major, you know, release area. You know, again, if I'm guessing out of my mind, you're talking LA, New York, or Miami kind of places, you know, but like
London.
London, you know, stuff like those, you know, that would be your like go-to spots, you know. I don't know though. I think that it kind of all, once it's like whoever is buying it and working through the release time, it'll be, and I might not want to do a New York release in the middle of December or something, January. You know, you might want to pick your...
Wouldn't it be nice to do it in Europe, that Richard himself comes?
I agree. I mean, but he hasn't shown a fear of coming outside. You know, it's not, but it would have to be good. I don't know. Like I said, I'm good with, like, it's like on the one hand, you want the most splash, you know, so like, you know, those big US cities are going to gain the most star power, and otherwise, elbow rubbing kind of situation, you know, but like at the same time, there is a certain draw with that, you know, and gravitas with having him there too. So like, I like to keep options open, you know, until there's some sort of announcement on stuff, you know, so I like all cities. but those are my, you know, the top ones that I would like to be in for the red carpet appeal,
Definitely max exposure. And speaking of exposure, this last part of this update is pretty cool. So this is from Patrick and Grant. We're also working with a sales agent to secure a distribution deal and get the film out in the world. It's their hope that you'll be able to watch the film on a streaming platform near you in the next 6 months. Hopefully not that long, but we'll see. Love for it to be sooner than later, but our priority is getting the right deal. Very important. Yes, there's maybe a shock to you, but there's plenty of misinformation floating around Twitter. No, really. We will update you as soon as we have an official distribution deal in place. Rock on, Patrick and Grant. And finally, this little nugget at the very end, the very important PS on Sunday, November 15th. Something special
13th?
is... Sunday. Let me read that again.
Good that they say it's not PulseChain. Good that they write that.
On Sunday, November 13th, for those listening, something special is launching that we're incredibly excited to share. No, it's not PulseChain, as Patrick just said. We make movies, not blockchains. LOL. Stay tuned on Twitter to learn more as we get closer to the big day. So speculation. Except from Big K, because he might know what this is. Hexy Bastard, what do you think this might be?
An extended trailer.
Man, you stole my answer. Patrick?
Yeah, something like a video, like a trailer as well, like maybe the full trailer now after the video, the full documentary is like recorded, like the official trailer, because what we have until now is like just a teaser.
Yeah, that was just really just like a little, flash piece that they put together. Honestly, it's so funny because that was like done before the movie even was like booked to be set up to go, and people have been hanging on that the whole time. So yeah, those are good guesses, guys. I like them.
Sarah says they're bidding on HSI auction. I like it. And Wild SJ is on the same page. Lots going on November 13th. That's for sure. Like that weekend. Well, shit, it's like next weekend, really.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be doing a interview with Corey Costa that day as well. So I'll probably be speaking on this matter and others that day too.
Yes. K Carl's logs or whatever your name is, however you pronounce it, it's V3 testnet. We can dream. Yes. But,
yeah, I honestly don't think that it has anything to do with crypto stuff.
No, it doesn't.
Because it's the highest of stakes. They are, as they right there, they are making movies and not crypto.
I mean, it could be the final scene of the film with Richard announcing PulseChain. No, just kidding. No, let's
God.
Yeah.
All right,
are
Banana Boy.
Stakes, like timing the market together with Richard, though.
That'd be great, but no, we're not. No. I just want the movie out, man. I cannot.
No. Banana Boy, I do see your question. Let me just check our topics list because we're running down this thing, and I've saved your question for when we get to that appropriate topic, which just might be here quite shortly. In fact, let's just go ahead and get to it right now. So as this show was going on last Friday, I guess there was a panel with Eric Voorhees, Sam Bankman-Fried, and a couple others talking about like crypto regulation, and I thought Eric Voorhees just did an outstanding job from the clips that I saw, I guess most of it, and I just wanted to play, I guess the best part, which I thought of this whole thing. So let's bring this up here.
This was a fun lesson in fantastic debate tactics too.
Yes, it was.
He really
this was
got
outstanding.
If the question was, let's acknowledge that the email protocol will be permissionless protocol.
Yep.
But it was the law of the land in America that every email front-end provider required KYC from its users.
Yep.
Because under the justification that we do not want people sending information back and forth with terrorists.
Yep.
Where would you stand on that position?
Oh, I'd be strongly against that position. I think
Why?
Why would I be against it? because I think it'd be like against freedom of speech. I think it'd be disenfranchising a lot of people. I think I would not trust in practice that it would do a good job. So I agree with you on all of that.
Okay.
I'm making a distinction here between, for instance, payments versus like derivatives contracts.
Why is Aave somehow different than email?
So, why is it different than email?
You argued so well and so passionately
Yeah.
to not block email with
Yes.
licensing and KYC. I loved hearing that.
Yep.
That filled my soul with joy. Such
Yeah.
good arguments. Why
Yeah.
does that not apply to financial transactions?
So, why
He's
does it not
jittering like
apply to
fuck.
financial transactions? I think there are a few things here. So, first of all,
Bro, he was shaking about so much. Like...
Big K was talking about debate tactics. I mean, he let him right in and just lassoed him up, man. That was just
destroyed.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, I mean, what about like that take? Because Sam Bankman fraud is like obviously all the talk of BitBoy and crypto regulation, and I guess we mentioned it last week. Big K, I know you weren't here, but I'm guessing you're up on this. You know, taking part of the BitBoy bill that I guess they were working on and his team, and then modifying it to fit Sam Bankman fraud's own personal interests. And it's just like, you know, it's good for like this dialogue to take place because, you know, you can actually see, you know, one, just how off the wall and zany brainy this whole thing is. And whoops, who's that? Oh, Hexy. And and two, like he just knocks out his own argument, like when pressed about it, which was the beauty of the entire thing. So it's just like, oh man, I don't know. Like, I guess what am I asking? Like, how do we keep this dialogue going? Because I don't know if Sam is going to get on one of these streams again after getting wrecked like that. But we need him to talk publicly about this instead of behind the scenes and dealing with all this stuff, you know, under the table.
Agreed.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how, like, you're right. The more that there can be sunlight on something like this, the more that people are aware, and the more that you can hear a poorly juxtaposed argument, and you can say, "Oh, I don't know if that really applies here." And I mean, that's super important, you know, because there's so much legislation happens under the you know, ends up as an add-on to some bill or whatever, doesn't get debated very heavily and not that kind of thing. And this really is super important for people to be very clear on what they're expecting the financial markets to, you know, be like, what we think people need to be accountable for and what they don't need to be accountable for, and asking smart contracts to, you know, to also do KYC on people seems insanity. So front ends even, you know, and then that just becomes a game of who can build the thing to, you know, it's really not a good way to, you know, you end up with the regular people end up getting squeezed out of even being able to use this technology, which is entirely not the point.
Yeah. And he had one, I guess he tweeted out his, in quotes, closing remarks, and I also wanted to play this real quick.
Those of us in this ecosystem, this industry, have created essentially a new financial foundation for the whole world. This is a huge responsibility. And the entire purpose of this financial foundation is that all of humanity can use an open, immutable financial layer. We are separating money from politics. We're separating money from the state. And in the same way that the church was separated from the state and everyone now hails that as one of the greatest things that humanity ever did, we now too, it comes to us to do the same for money. Money is as or more important to people than religion is. We interact with it every day in all sorts of manners. And just as mathematics or language are immutable and open to the entire human race, so too should the exchange and management of money. That is the principle that makes this entire ecosystem important. That is the principle that justifies everything that we do. And if we lose that, it will be something that we regret for the rest of our lives because we had that opportunity.
Could not have said it better. So
yeah, he's a good egg. You know, there's a lot of Bitcoiners and whatever you can feel one way or another about, but you know, and everyone has some shady businesses or business practices or somebody that they got involved with along the way. But like he's always been somebody that's pretty consistent on his morals on this kind of stuff, and I can get behind that kind of stuff. I mean, I hope that, you know, there's a comment here that I like. His arguments were above par for sure. Even if he hates Hex, I like this guy on my side.
that's right.
Got it.
I also think like great arguments, and it's also what he said is the reason why I'm doing like my crypto education without charging anybody anything, because I also think it's really important to show the people how to be their own bank. You know, how he said it, like how to separate money from politics.
Hexy Bastard, any takes on that before we move on?
I think it's like, it's quite scary how much they're trying to regulate this shit, because it could end up squeezing things out big time, like Big K said. If I heard talk that they were on about trying to do KYC for USDC and stuff like this, and it's like, oh, that's a scary world, man. Like, I worry about the future of crypto longer term, because by the time they end up putting all of this in play, because they're bringing out their CBDCs and everything like that, man, if they try and like ban crypto worldwide, or at least just in the States or something like that, it's going to have a huge knock-on effect. And that's a little bit concerning, because I got into crypto.
And here's the thing.
There's everyone's like the sovereignty and the freedom and blah, blah, blah. But if they start clamping down on that, it's going to ruin everything.
It's gonna wreck our gains too. So I don't like that either.
More importantly, we're all gonna lose a lot of money.
Here's I mean, yeah, and the thing is that, you know, here's my take. It's even bigger world, like what you're saying to a bigger degree, is that like, do we have to fight for this stuff on a political level and as like a freedom level? Because it is true that at the end of the day, like one day a lot of this stuff, like all of what is happening on the blockchain is public record, right? And like, are you the guy, are you Gene Hackman from Enemy of the State? Like, is that you? Do you like do your crypto in a Faraday cage? No, none of us do. Like, that's just not reality, right? So like, do you like, you know, make sure to shop at different stores at different times of the day to throw off timestamps of where you're even getting your goods and services? No. So like, are any of us really that anonymous? No, we're really not. Like, are you, if big data tracking that's watching, like if you make 7 or 12 likes on Facebook, they can like predict your friggin' movements better than like your significant other. Like that kind of big data tracking applied to your life, and then coupled with blockchain, which is already public shit, they can fucking know everything about where you're going. So like, you better get it right on a political level, because if we don't get it right on a political level, then they're going to be up your ass forever, for fucking ever, period.
Well, they already know who everyone is anyway, because you need to KYC to on-ramp and to off-ramp. So unless you were like an early Bitcoin miner, like they know exactly
unless there's a law that protects me from having this shit up my ass forever, then like then eventually like your whole existence is going to be full of, you know, spamware and fucking bots and garbage everywhere you fucking turn, you know. So like, there has to be some legislation that to like keep what your privacy as it needs to be, because if it's not respected, it's damn sure not going to be respected by corporations. It's damn sure not going to be respected by what is already going to be very public access tools. I mean, there's tons of AI out there, you know, you want to get yourself, you like boost your followers and likes and all that shit. There's AI that'll write your shit for you. You know, that sounds better than any of us fucking sound, you know, like it's a brave fucking new world. And unless we are ahead of legislation on it, then it's really going to be a dangerous looking one. It's not going to resemble what you like it to. That's for damn sure. So yeah, I agree that this is a very important time. And, you know, it's kind of the thing that we knew was going to like in crypto. Like, I mean, I can remember years ago being like, you know, I wonder how long this shit can fly this far under the radar, you know, like it was a question to me. Because now it's not flying under the radar. There's trillions of dollars involved here. So like, okay, now why should it be a thing? We have to stand on some real principles. And like, it is tough, because like I am mostly here for number go up, but you know, also the reason why number go up, the reason why that is such a powerful tool is because like, you know, if it's an adaptable technology that is actually 10x better than what was there before it, you know. So like there's not a digital currency system that works better than the technology that we have now. So like I'm for it for both, you know, like, and I think that it should be a widely adaptable and, you know, public good, you know, it's really all there is to it, you know. So good luck to everybody, you know, good luck, you know. I hope the people that have the loudest voices and yell properly and say the right things and get the points across to these people, because you're right, it's what Eric said is right, you know, otherwise we're going to look back and be pretty sad.
I mean, for example, it always takes longer as expected. So in the beginning of this year, there was like a lot of FUD going on in Europe. You know that the European Union is about to make like way harder regulations, and that for example, one of the biggest exchanges in Europe, Bitstamp, will be forced to like KYC every MetaMask account or every decentralized wallet, for example. And I mean, till now, nothing happened. So it's kind of FUD from their side, because actually, how are they going to do that? You know, so they would need to regulate those kind of exchanges, and then they would still need to trust those exchanges that they are doing all this KYC properly. And then how is it done? Then it's just like, okay, you might need to sign your ETH address towards Bitstamp, and then you are KYC'd, or
see, and the thing that sucks the worst about it is that, like, I mean, like people that don't have lengthy that haven't made lengthy hex stakes, you know, you can move a lot your money around into a lot of different addresses, but like they're not moving much of the stakes around. They'll be there for the next 15 years or so. So, yep. You know, yeah, I mean, they could do stuff like that. I mean, like I said, data tracking what it is, it's not to say that you can't. People won't be able to connect dots if you want to, you know, and that's
but still, you know, something like real DeFi, it's really hard to shut down, you know. So
no, you're right.
How do you think you shut down Uniswap? You know, how could you
don't
shut down like decentralized liquidity?
Well, you don't shut it down, but the problem, like they've said, they could regulate front ends, and then end up having is this like you know, like technology race war that goes on, where only the smartest and most on the fringe have the ability to even interact with Uniswap, because all the front ends get stopped all the time, you know. Like so unless you're building a front end on the fly, you're not interacting with the contract, you know.
Well, look what they did with the USDC guys that were using Tornado Cash. They just turned it off, and what they could do in the future is they could just blacklist all the addresses that are using DeFi, and then tell all the exchanges, you cannot credit if someone transfers from an address associated with this address. So you can move your money around as much as you want. If the source comes from X address, then you can't get your money. It's, you know, and they are doing metadata, all sorts of weird bullshit with this stuff right now. So it's a pretty scary world, man. Scary world.
Yeah, like I said, then you just have the race between who can build the whatever fastest, and like that's I don't think that helps the general public, because like it's most people aren't going to interact on that level. They're just not.
I think we've got at least one more bull run before this shit hits the fan. Personally, I mean, I don't really know, but like I'm guessing we've got one more bull run, and then after that, the rules are going to change big time.
I think they'll change before or leading up to the next bull, like next year sometime.
Yeah, there's going to be winners. There may be winners and losers along the way on the way up that are like severe losers and severe winners. Yeah.
I mean, that's why some are saying, oh, Bitcoin is a good one to own, because that's kind of like the safe one, you know, and like even Ethereum, like, you know, they're after, Gensler's after at least, and it's just like you never know. And it's again, there's no like alarm, go out and sell all your stuff right now or anything like that. But again, we do bring this up here because it is real, and it will eventually affect all of us, and we're going to see how it does, and hopefully with our voices we can have an effect on, you know, how it actually gets implemented. That's
Yeah.
why you have such a large channel like a BitBoy Crypto, talking about this, and him being so passionate about it is because yeah, it's coming. But I mean, if we just sit back and don't say anything, then SBFs are just gonna take it and run and do whatever they want with it. And
I love
that would be
BitBoy's
terrible.
passion in that speech, man. Like,
Yeah.
I gained a lot of respect for him during that. I mean, I already started to respect the guy a lot more recently anyway, because of his stance on like no more paid promotion. It's like, yeah, he was bad before, but he's realized his mistakes and now he's trying to make up for it and stuff. So yeah, gaining more respect for the guy.
Lots of comments on this. So let's go through some of these, shall we? So let's see. Well, actually, there's a question first from Banana Boy. excellent avatar with the K for K and the banana. Do any of you worry about a DeFi bill which can affect Hex? Which we were like, talking about. It's like, okay, well, Hex is truly decentralized. It passes any Howey test or any legal measure as of right now. So what could they do? Then it would come down to centralized exchanges, on ramps, off ramps, and
I think that we're in a pretty solid position overall in this. I don't think like it's not really about it's like Hex that I'm worried about or my bags, honestly. Like, do I think that like, oh, I'm like it's all going to zero, we're screwed? No, not at all.
No.
I just think that like the form of transacting that we do right now is pretty sick, and I would love it if that and better continued. I used to use centralized exchanges. They suck. Like I used to go to the bank all the time. They also suck. So like
they should have read your shirt. They should try not to suck.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's what we're trying. We're trying not to suck. It's exactly the correct. I mean, it's not that hard to try not to suck. It's.
I mean, sometimes the Ethereum chain also sucks.
It's true. There's some time, but it's trying not to. It's not always sucking. It's doing their best. They're doing their best. And so in that regard, if you're doing your best, then just out compete them. And so that's also what will part of it. But anyways, regardless, no, I don't really worry about Hex's longevity. I think that like it's the more methods of like the mediums underneath which that we get to explore really like the new like these new versions, like how DeFi works is really a unique, amazing system that that is a 24/7 365, not waiting for someone else's servers to exist. All that shit is like hasn't been there before. It's like I've said for like 3 years now that like the real two true innovations that we got through that last bull run was Uniswap and Hex. That was the big things. I mean, like they really changed the game in many ways. So we'll see where that we don't want to lose those. Don't want to lose those.
Yeah, two of the things that I think that they're going after, and from what I've put together with all this talk, one, they don't like founders coins or the distribution process or the launch processes of some of these things. So somebody launches a product or project, and founder gets a ton of tokens that he can dump off on somebody or tell a YouTube streamer like the Moon Carl or something like that, or send him, and then they pump. And go figure, it happens with stocks too, but they're gonna come after crypto for it. So yeah, there's that. And then like if something's decentralized, they're going to go after something that's centralized way before they could even try to start to peel back layers of going after something that's decentralized. I think so anyway. So I think those are the easy targets, like the low-hanging fruit at the beginning. That's just my take. And Hex does not fall into any of those categories or nowhere near it. So
I mean,
and the thing is like if I know government regulators, like I think I do, if they even try and go after the low hanging fruit, it's going to be so difficult to run around and deal with all of that. Anyways, like it might keep them busy for basically forever.
I mean, they're still busy with Ripple. So
that's what I'm saying. Is just like you got to remember that like we are like, while this is the most well constructed and possibly most dangerous FUD that like the market has to deal with, period, like ever, basically, like it's still not. You got to remember who you're like working against. It is still the government. You know, it's not exactly, you know, MIT's greatest here. You know, so take that for a grain of salt.
Footsteps. Hex doesn't pass any points on the Howey test, and that's good. Yes, correct. Patrick, you were saying something?
Yeah, Cabana, there was like some FUD going around lately, and I don't know. It's like I have no idea about the American law system, and I mean some of those documents I saw look just straight up fake, you know. So that there was like two things, no, one like North Carolina thing, whatever, and then like yesterday, somebody showed me like some information about a how is it called, a subpoena? I have no idea
Subpoena.
what this
That's a
even
weird
is.
word. That is subpoena.
How do you pronounce that
Subpoena.
properly?
Subpoena.
Subpoena.
Subpoena. Yeah.
Subpoena. Okay.
I didn't
What
see
is
the one
that?
yesterday, but I think the one that you're referring to, we discussed, I guess, a couple weeks back. That was like the one
Yeah.
in South Carolina regarding Hex or something, and somebody lost like $20 and is mad and hired.
Oh, that one was funny.
Hired
That
a
was definitely
one-star
the guy
law
that
firm.
posted it as well. I can't even remember who it was who posted it now, but they've been fudding Hex for like months.
Yeah.
And then this comes out, and they're like, "Oh, it wasn't me though." It's like, yeah, whatever, dude. It's definitely lost $20. Lol.
I think it'd
No-
be like so hilarious if like it was a true Hexican that did that just to maybe like get a litigation, and this is not the case, but just way my brain works, to get the litigation process started, and that case that they're bringing about is so poorly worded and just
it's hilarious. It's
designed
basically
that
it might as
it
well
gets
be
stomped out in court, and then that becomes like a
that's
record
like
in the court. And be like,
that's like
look,
the standard moving
Right.
forward. Yeah.
I looked through it. It was hilarious. The law firm that's putting it forward is like that. If you read through their reviews, they are like, everyone's like, joke law firm. These people will sue anybody for anything. None of this is real. Like I mean, it basically looks like it's like some, you know, crackerjack shit. It's like purposefully. You're 100% right. It's like this is hilarious. This can't be real. Is this real?
But
So,
the one that
thanks to
came out.
Hex
Yeah, the one that
Sorry,
came
I
out
just
yesterday.
wanted to say like
Yeah, go on.
thank you to Hex Aaron. Sorry, you have a little like go ahead.
Yeah,
can we get
I
a
just-
hey girl from Patrick? No. Okay.
Hey girl.
Yes. There we go. Thank you. That made
Nice.
my night. All right. Continue. Hector.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there was one that came out yesterday, which was the subpoena, and apparently that was given to a Hex influencer, but I don't know who it was or anything like that. I have an inkling I know who it is. I was just wondering if you guys knew anything about it, because like I really don't. I just seen that apparently one Hex influencer got issued with a subpoena to cease and desist by the SEC or something like that.
I
And that's the end of today's show. We'll see.
Am I supposed to leave too, Cabana? He didn't give me the memo. Shit.
He's left us to fucking hang me.
No, I had not seen that one, so like
No,
I've been quite busy.
Yeah.
I think Motley might
And-
know
and I-
something about it if he
I
comes
have
on later.
I've already seen like I've already seen like a few tweets like destroying the kind of paper like with writing errors and like wrong names. So I don't know. That's why I'm asking, like, is it fake or not? I have no idea what such a
Chat saying it's
Uh,
fake, but yeah.
subpoena actually is.
Subpoena. Yes.
Well, what is that? Like a claim against somebody, or
A
what is it?
subpoena is when the subpoena is when like the court tells you gotta show up and defend yourself in some way against this. Like, hey, like either you or your lawyer's got to show up and be like, hey, he didn't do this thing, or fight it in some way. It's like a court's, you know.
Is it the same thing when you drive too fast and the officer says like you need to come to court?
No, that's more like I mean.
That's a very small matter, but I guess on a microscopic scale, maybe it's similar.
Kind of, I guess, similar-ish. Yeah, I mean, this is more
like a summons or something. Like they're summoning you to.
Well, summons is a little nicer. You know, usually there's summoning you to court.
Jury
to talk
duty.
to yeah, for jury duty or to tell somebody something. Usually they're not like, hey, could you please come on by if you're like, you know, you're a a plaintiff or defendant in a case, usually then that's going to be a subpoena, or when they serve you with a subpoena. Yeah. So that's basically whenever, like, when the guy shows up at your door as the UPS guy, and there's like, who are you? And you tell your name, they're like, you've been served. That's
served.
Yeah, they're serving you with a subpoena to show up to court or send your lawyer.
I love Alan's comment in the chat saying sub peanuts.
These
Of
nuts?
course you would, Mr. Head of PP or something like that. But anyway.
PP head? What?
PP head. Yeah. Pun mayor.
Yeah, but because like Richard was also sharing this one video, like don't talk to the police, and then like I was wondering even more like what's it's all about.
I mean,
Richard's been posting loads of stuff about like secret chats and all of this. I'm like, I can't figure it out, man. Do any of you guys know what the fuck he's on about? Because like, I don't get it.
I don't.
I'm not
get
sure
that part,
either.
but yeah,
I do.
I guess
In that very video a long time ago that he put on the police video, and like that one's an old classic, that like you definitely there's no wrong information in that video at all whatsoever.
Yeah, it's true. I was just wondering like what's behind that, like why are you posting that now, Richard?
That's a good question.
that is a good
It's
question.
always good information to remember, but often,
Often what? Oh,
Yeah, now he muted himself.
okay.
Okay.
forgotten. Sorry, somebody little has entered the premises. I figured him.
Hello, little
Give me a
people.
second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Other comments / questions, and this is a good one from D-Based. Why the timing of PulseChain is somewhat important. Bad regulations could come and curb stomp DeFi demand. Yeah, and I think a lot of things are being considered with that. I'm curious. We brought it up maybe a couple weeks ago with what was it? Was it the SEC and the Ian Bellina thing, to where they were saying that wherever the ETH nodes were generated, or the validators were, that if most of them were in the United States, then they could have more legal jurisdiction. And it's like, okay, well, perhaps just because of that, as more information comes out, maybe most of the PulseChain validators might not be in the United States. I don't know, but it's just things like that.
I see like a high possibility there because I guess StakeApp is running a node. That's France. Maybe Richard himself runs some. That's Europe as well. And I don't know like where the others. One would be probably like from the States. No, David Feeder.
David's
and
not
yeah,
in the
I
States.
haven't looked.
No, just kidding.
No, he's
No, he is.
sorry.
He is.
Oh,
I'm
that's
just-
okay.
Or is he? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, maybe some Canadians as well, and yeah, I
We
don't know.
have some Canadians. We definitely do.
In the Hexycan community. Yeah, there's like a whole Hexycan chat room full with Canadian.
If you need me to, I'll set one up. I'm in the UK. I'll probably do a terrible job of it.
You have a whole UK chat room on Telegram, so yeah, just
In fact, there was a couple guys in there that were talking about doing nodes. So yeah, they'll probably do it.
So
Yeah.
if you use his node, you will need 3-minute transactions, because he's a poor pleb. No.
Yeah, I'm running on like a Windows 95 PC with like
Something
no
like that.
graphics card or anything. On dial-up internet.
what else do we have regarding this topic before we move on? Let's see. If DeFi is gone, then RH has to go as an exchange. I think that's why. I don't think it's DeFi is going anywhere, but yeah, I think that's a big reason why Richard was looking at an exchange, just to control more of this process. So nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Peter Danis, I don't get this. Everyone talks about crypto regulation, but it's already regulated. How could Coinbase exist if it's not regulated? You have a point there, but at the same time, they want to expand their reach to DeFi and to coin launches and anything and everything else that is crypto. So it's not just, you know, the Coinbase is just the first step. So in their eyes. The various government attempts at writing regulations are so depressingly archaic. However, mostly it means holders, those who know what they're doing, gain because the regulations are so archaic. Yep, and it takes a long time, but they're aiming to update those. Vinay,
And then one more word to that. What I wrote just today is like that the Chinese government holds like a lot of crypto, for example. Most of them from the scam of 2018 and 19. The post token
Plus token
scam, I guess it was. Yeah, plus token it was, yeah. And they still have like 3.9 billion worth of crypto from that.
Vinay, steel with engraved words will be more valuable than gold's weight before KYC. Get Hex. There you go. What else we got here? Crypto Krill. I think there are a lot of very clever people in the crypto sphere, and just as the powers to be try to infiltrate and take over, there are cyberpunks who are creating alternatives. No doubts there. And DJ Cryptomatic, I guess this is about the law thing. For this to pop off, there must be some serious defrauded victims around. So who? I don't know if there was anybody defrauded per se, but what else do we have? Yes, the last one I wanted to get to. Bobby Hexelrod. If they try to ban crypto here in the USA, I'll do like many other Hexicans and protest with my feet and leave. See ya. Yep. And this brings up a great point, because it's like, okay, say you were Gensler / the SEC. Are you just going to come in and nuke an entire technology space and lose billions, if not trillions of dollars in investment in infrastructure, and let all that money go to Europe or South America or Asia? I think that'd be the dumbest move on the planet. So you're going to want to keep it, but with some sort of framework. So this is where I'm kind of like, you know, I think, you know, a lot of us are going to be fine. It's going to be okay. It's just, you know, we have to, you know, massage this thing as it develops. But if you stay out of the process, then it could be really bad, because you have people who have no idea what they're doing, making all the decisions without any input from us, the crypto community. So I think that's the important part there. But to nuke an entire industry would be just absolutely foolish. And that's why I don't think that will happen, because like Bobby said, just move with your feet and pick up, go elsewhere. And there you go. So. And Ross with his input, regulation does not scare me nearly as much as Hexy Quinn and Hex Siren. Go get him, ladies. There you go. So
did you want to talk about the Richard put like a little PulseChain update out yesterday, like red team versus blue team, or team 1 versus
red team go, blue team go. I love it. Fucking that means I mean, like that you don't
my last like, update. Go ahead.
Oh. Yeah, there you go. You can lead us. Do you want to lead us into it? Is it some kind of segue?
No, it's just a tweet. There you go. PulseChain update. A and B teams are competing to release first. Development is going fine. PulseHex has been fine for a long time. So there you go.
When I read that, all I thought was 4 more weeks.
I mean,
so when launch? Yeah, when moon?
That's. I was gonna say we're very like that's. Things are moving quickly, because like they're not gonna if they're still dealing with big deal ideas, they're probably gonna use most of the high level brains on the teams here to work it out. So like we're getting close. We're getting close.
Yeah, instead of what A or B, they used to be blue and red. So
yeah,
I guess it's cool that like PulseChain just sounds like it's just like ready to be inserted and taken live. Let's just get PulseChain, you know, up and going.
I still think, guys, that we need to have the new testnet running for a couple of months, that all the other developers can look into it and look into.
I'm fine with that. I think I'm totally fine with a month of testnet. I think that would be just fine. I think 15 days, like, and you know, a testnet is like enough, but I think at least a month would make everyone feel comfortable. There you go, Cabana. There it is.
I knew you were
sorry. I didn't give you time to do
yearning for it.
But I think that would be great, but like not mandatory, but would be cool. I can handle that. I could even handle 2 months if we gotta, but like this is not necessary. I don't think we need that long.
I guess the burning question is will we have it by mid-May?
That would be like the ultimate, like, yeah, just
when he said earlier in the year around mid-May, he just didn't say which year.
Which
year.
Well, we do have a special guest with a special take on this matter. When PulseChain.
No.
Motley Investor, thank you for joining us.
What's up, boys?
Where you been, my friend?
We just had some friends come into back on the island for the first time in like 4 or 5 months. So we've been drinking with them and having a good time. So I'm a little late.
No, that's all right. People were worried about you in the chat that you might have gotten, gone down to a bad beach with bad riptide and disappeared.
No,
a while.
Just drunk, just a little tipsy.
Okay.
All right, chill. Tindy's over there yelling in the background.
Oh boy. So I think we've gone through most of the show. We just brought up RH's PulseChain update. So if you want to call it update, so we've gone from red and blue to A and B.
You like that tweet?
Anything that you glean from it, or I was like, cool, Pulse X is done, but just
no, I don't think it's much of a update. I think I like the wording. I'd have to look at the tweet again, but there was like some wording, just like they're just trying to rapidly finish as obviously quickly as possible, but more or less, it's not really an update from what I saw. I think honestly, it was probably a little bit of a response to a lot of the FUD that's been going around for the past day or two. So I think that's more or less why that tweet was put out. Just to show like, hey, I'm still here. We're still working. Same old, same old.
Yeah.
Nothing new though.
And I guess there was some FUD. Do you know Hexy Bastard? Maybe you're the one that brought it up, but what was it? Or Patrick with the subpoena? What in the world was that thing? Was that deemed fake or something, or what was that? Just pure FUD? The first I heard of it, because I've been out of the loop for the past 24 hours. So
definitely out of the loop.
Okay, so tell me, tell us. Those who do not know.
Do you like circuses? Do you like circus, sir?
Yeah, we've already talked about
the
South Carolina one, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but the subpoena. I mean, I'm assuming it's a subpoena. Like, I know who it's for. If you can dig around on Twitter, you can probably figure it out for yourselves.
I have one guess, but
yeah, a lot of us probably have the right guess.
Okay.
But I think it's just going to be a big nothing burger. It was the same thing. Hexologist brought this up before. It's the same thing we've dealt with in the past. We've had the same FUD, subpoenaed. Ironically enough, they have their own token coming out. It's just the same bullshit. It's nothing new. Hex, out of all the cryptos, out of all the communities to be labeled as a security or being paid shills, this is like the last one that'll ever hold up in court as being a security or paid shills. So like, I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, and that's kind of like our takeaway as well.
Hence, we're all still here on stream talking about it.
I briefly left.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because I, as a European, never heard even this word. Subpoena. Yeah. What is that?
It's a weird word. It's hard to spell too.
SUBPEONA.
It's like a spelling bee question, like spell subpoena.
You just know you'd rather not have one.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And perhaps it means like we're close to coming out of this bear in the next couple of months. So it's just like this is all the stuff that happens.
You would like that.
Yeah, I would.
Maybe it's longer.
I mean, it gives me more time to buy. Thanks, JPal. Shout out. You're the cover boy for this week's thumbnail. But
they were pivoting, brother. I thought they were going to pivot.
Oh, he wrecked so many people with that press release, and then
the best you got out of it was like a lagging indicator. That was it. That was it.
Oh my gosh! Like people bought that. Like they just went up like 400 to 500 Dow points in a flash because they were like, "This is it. This is it." And then he just comes out and just dumps all over it and lights it on fire.
But
So,
I mean, the markets in general always running into that stuff. Like, have this they a lot of times lull themselves into some. They take a couple hits off that hopium, bro, and then they start going into the meeting like, this one could be different.
it was funny because like Tindies and I were talking about this, and it was funny because the rumor was from BlackRock that they were supposedly going to be pivoting and or softening and all this stuff, and then. Weird, right? Weird that comes from BlackRock.
Yeah.
Like maybe they had some nice shorts put in when all of a sudden the Fed comes out and there is no pivot. Turns out it was all rumors, and I'm sure some people made a lot of money off those short-term rally we had.
Or they wanted to get out of some stuff and then get the pop, and then just get another opportunity to short it again. So
it's just manipulation.
Yeah, and that would be nothing new in traditional markets. And go figure. Crypto markets are
but regulate crypto.
You can't even get traditional markets right. You can't even do penny stock schemes and micro penny stock schemes right, and you're going to come after crypto. We've had this whole discussion.
No, and the beauty about crypto is if you're like in the real good cryptos, no admin keys and no good tokenomics and all that stuff. You have only the risk of the price, and I love that, because
nice.
I don't need to think about, okay, is the company still good, will they give me my money or something like that. I have only the price risk and nothing else.
And there we have it. So that's most of the news items for the day. Hexy Bastard. So I know we focus typically on Hex and PulseChain, PulseX on this program, but you've built something glorious that will
You have
someday soon, mid-May, be on PulseChain. But you also ran like a little contest, and we like to have fun on this show, so that's why we're gonna take a look at some of this. What is going on here? I guess give us a little background as to what the contest was, and just take it away.
So we came up with the concept of pleb flexes. Obviously, we have the hex flexes, and the pleb flex is basically poor people flexes in some kind of way. And we had tons and tons and tons of people submitting them. I really wish we could give everyone something.
And what were they submitting for? Like, what would the winners get?
So the prizes were, I think we were doing like $2,000 worth of poor pleb sacrifice. Obviously, the sacrifice phase is over and the coin is launched now. So it's what we're going to do with this is we're just going to go and buy it on the market and then send it out to the winners like afterwards. So yeah, we had a lot of people submitting stuff, and I really wish we could pick more winners. Originally, we were going to have 3 winners, but I think we've got like 10 that we've decided we're gonna give to. We threw a couple bonus ones in there, and some of them are really, really funny. Full disclaimer, I did not pick these myself. I actually threw one in there myself that I believed really deserved to be in there, but everyone else was picked by other people in the background. Which is great because then there's no bias from me. So I'll be happy to share these with you guys. There's some really funny ones. There's some not so funny ones, but I find them funny. So whatever.
Let me know when you're ready, and I'll throw it up.
Yeah, cool. Give me a sec.
When documentary, yes, all projects will copy Hex going forward.
It's going to be called The Lowest of Stakes, guys.
Yeah, you go.
So yeah, whenever you're ready, Cabana. So here is item number 1 by 4 Candles Hex. These are winter boots that have been duct taped together. Pretty fun. We had a lot of like shoes coming in.
I was gonna say these look like one of my pairs of lawn mowing shoes back when I used to push mow for money, and like the sole would like come apart, and I just duct tape them together because I'm trying to make money mowing lawns when I'm a kid. So yeah, I respect this. This is outstanding.
Yeah, man, you got to make do, So this person right here is winning one of the runner. I'm going to go through the runners up first, and then I'll get to like the big daddy prizes towards the end. So this is number 1, 4 Candles Hex. You're going to get $100 worth of PP.
Are those moon boots? Yes. You have Richard's boots, and then you have these things on the total opposite end of the spectrum. Yeah, Peter Diaz, weird version of Richard's moon boots. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Love
Okay.
it. So that'll be the first one. The second one is going to be, this is too spooky. His job gives him free food that the kids don't eat. So instead of throwing it away and throwing it in the garbage, a penny saved is a penny earned. So, and also I wanted to chuck Too Spooky in there anyway, because he's one of my favorite plebs. I absolutely love this dude. He makes the best memes.
Yeah.
His memes are just the best. I'm so glad he's like on our side and not against us.
You don't want him against you for sure.
God, no. Fuck no, man. He'd make me look stupid. But yeah. I mean, as if I don't make myself look stupid enough, you know. But anyway. So yeah, Too Spooky, you're getting one of the runner-up prizes of $100. Next one here.
What in the world?
This is how people's barbecue. He's
Oh,
got
the iron.
That's salami on it.
Iron stove.
Iron stove, man.
A literal iron skillet. Yeah.
That goes out to HKB. You also get a $100 sacrifice. Well, it's gonna be worth more than $100 now because the price has gone up a bit. Congratulations. Next one is Phoenix Kukini carrying his Walmart bags, and I just love his hat. His hat is so cool. I just love his outfit in general. He looks like, you know, a 70s Richard Hart.
And the bags are from Walmart, so there you go.
Yeah, 100%, man. Love that. He's I just love his glasses and like just the outfit in general and everything like that. He looks really funny.
But those are the expensive bags from Walmart, no?
Shit, really?
Yeah.
Disqualified.
Make the bags yourself, man.
Those are not the free plastic ones. That's right.
So Phoenix Kikini, you get $100 sack.
I love how he's talking crap in the tweet. Suck it, haters. Yeah, I got the expensive Walmart bags.
I just don't even know what that hat is. Is it even a hat? It looks
It's
like
probably a
waist
PP
basket
hat.
or something.
It looks like a
Maybe it's a bad
off-brand
angle.
Richard top hat thing he's got going on.
It looks like he made a top hat out of like a laundry basket or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I like it. Next one goes out to Pulse Hexagon.
Oh, dear.
Hot dog steamer.
Hot dog's in a
That's
kettle.
as good as any hot dog steamer. You know, it's just hot water. You know, it'll work.
Probably a
I'm
quick
down.
way to cook them, right?
I might eat one of those.
Yeah, but you need to take care because, you know, if
I'm
the
not
water
above
is
it.
boiling, the sausages are popping. So
Yeah, some
Also,
people
it might
like a
mess
pump
up your
sausage.
tea later or your coffee.
or
think long term here.
It might enhance it. You know, I'm just.
I just
Depending
hope
on
he
taste,
remembered to take
depending on
these
taste.
out. Because like if he didn't and then he's gone and like you say made a cup of tea later or something, he's just like, oh, that tastes a bit fucking porky. Like what's this all about? So yeah,
X Monkey reminds me of college. Yeah. So.
yeah, for real. So yeah, you Pulse Hexagon, you win $100, which is now going to be more. This one here is from one of our best buddies. This guy's actually my favorite pleb at the moment, which is
he's put together a
Jucoin.
full size fridge out of several minis. That's
Ah,
Yeah.
right. Got it. Let's say it looks
He
like
says,
a money.
two pleb to invest in a real fridge freezer. So one of these I found down the street during lockdown. Another was a donation from a roommate. I thought it was a fair trade to give me a mini fridge, which he got for free instead of paying me the $15,000 he still owed me.
I don't know if that's a good deal. This guy's
I don't.
guy's
Yeah.
flexing a poor bartering skills too.
Well, I mean, how pleb is
Yeah.
that? Like, you owe me 15 grand. I'll take the fridge. Fuck it.
I'll just.
I just
take
I like the picture that he scribbled out in the upper right hand corner.
He's like,
Oh
this
yeah,
is-
shit, I didn't even spot that.
No docs.
No dogs. I love all the shit he's got underneath it as
I
well.
want to know.
And
I want to
you
know
just-
if he put up a picture of the meme next to it, or like if that's like photoshopped on there, or if he actually have just a meme picture printed out on his fridge like a magnet.
it
That's
looks
fucking-
real, actually. It
That's
looks
what
like
I'm
he's
saying.
actually
Like,
got
what is
it,
that
yeah.
doing on your fridge? That's wild.
Yeah, so shout out Jucoin, love you, man. The next one, there's two like this. So there's a guy here who made himself a nice Rolex with the time written on
I've
it.
seen it's quite a few sweet paper Rolexes before. It's
Love me a paper Rolex. So Tori M, you also get $100, and I'll just skip to the next one because there's one very similar here. He
Nice.
actually drew it on. He can't even afford paper.
yeah, very way to kick it up a notch.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So those two both get $100. Next one, this guy also getting $100. He's got a 12-year-old tablet and some weird cooking facilities. This is his kitchen, I think. His kitchen / living room. I think he's just got a bed behind him and a bathroom, and then that's his entire house. So Dirt Dog, shout out to you. Sir.
I hope that's not like a bathroom bucket.
I was going to say, what kind of
maybe shit, yeah.
what kind of waste goes in that receptacle? Okay.
Man, you should really move
It's
that
okay
away
to get
from
this
your...
picture from this angle and not like.
And it's right next to the food.
Yeah, right next to the food, man.
Not good,
Well, at least he doesn't have to travel far. He's eating, you know. Now the next one, actually, what I need to do, I have a video that I want to play, but I know if I play it like the normal way, it's not going to work. So if I just stop my screen for a second and then I'll upload this video file. 1 second.
Yeah, don't be
This
like
is by
the Cabana guy last week messing up the Top Cats video. Thanks, Motley.
Sorry,
Yes.
I'm not paying attention.
So the next one is by one of my good friends, P Burn. He made this video quite early on in the Pleb Flex, and this is the one that I chucked in because I just really rate it massively. It's there when you're ready, Cabana.
Money here. We desperately need your support. Below is our donation address.
I can't help them. Oh, please, Hexy Bastard. Save me from my pleb life.
It was German.
To the
It
video.
was German on the newspapers and so on. Somebody from Germany.
Stickers on your picture too.
Bonus points for the video.
Yeah, the video is sick. Like that when I seen that cracked me up. So he gets one of the second tier runner-up prizes of $250. So congratulations, Mr. Byrne. By the way, anyone, I'm going to message all of you guys. I'm going to post all of these on Twitter and whatever, and then you just have to send me addresses and whatever. You'll get your PP. The next one here, there's only a couple left. Let me share my screen again.
I think this is absolutely hilarious because it was months ago. I remember I was down in Florida somewhere, and we ended up on a stream, and the jokes in chat just starting this entire thing off. I was like, this thing has legs, if you will. And here we are now with these contests and stuff like this. This is hilarious.
Yeah, loving it. This next prize is also $250. Goes out to Hex Pleb. Right here is an old Dairy. I think he said it was from like 1993. A Dairy watch. Do you guys have Dairy in the States? It's like a cheese spread. You never heard of it?
Don't think so.
Man, in the UK, I literally grew up on this shit. It's like cheese spread. You just have it on like sandwiches and stuff like that. But they got a cool brand and whatever. And they gave out these watches. They're like limited edition digital watches. It's from like literally 1993, and he still got it. And then his next image, he's got a Nokia 3210 or a 3310 with some absolutely fucked up shoes on as well. So yeah, shout out Hex Pleb. You also get $250, sir. There was the next one here. I do have a video for this one as well, but I'll just show you the actual thing.
But
Look
actually,
at that,
this
guys.
phone, this old phone, this was awesome. It has like the first version of Snake on it.
Snake.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
if you throw it at someone's head hard enough, you'll definitely cave their skull in.
Yeah, it's
And the phone will be fine.
for sure.
And the battery used to last like 2 weeks. They don't make phones like that anymore, man.
So apparently we have Archie who knows what Dairy Lee is, I guess.
Yeah, Archie's one of my London brothers.
Okay. Yeah, typically when it's a food or beverage I do not know, I usually consult Big K, but if Big K doesn't know what it is, then it's probably not of
Might
these
just be a-
lands. So
Yeah. Dairy
out.
was the
Didn't
shit.
know.
Man. I used to love that. Like I had a cheese sandwich every day, like back when I was a kid, because it's all we could afford, you know. But anyway, the next one, look at that guy. This was done before we even launched the fucking coin. The man got a PP tattoo on his fucking hand.
So that's not ink pen. That's an actual.
Nah, he sent me a video. It's legit. It's real. David Paco Webo, it is on Twitter. Fucking salute to you, sir. This was before we'd even launched the coin. So wow. just wow.
His thumb bothers me. I don't know. It's just not quite in the right proportions. That thumb bothers me more than the tattoo. Just saying.
I mean, it's a well crafted tattoo. I mean,
yeah.
And what does he get? $369 for that? I don't know what
Thanks,
tattoos cost, but I'm pretty sure he made money on that. So
oh yeah.
Sorry, David, you're not going to be a hand model.
He's getting like a bonus prize of $369 because like
See?
I was just like,
Hexy
we'd
Quinn
already
knows
kind
what's
of
up.
picked the winners, and then we seen this, and I'm like, oh shit, man, I need to do something for
this
him.
man needs.
He's a gamer. I'm telling you guys, that thumb is not normal.
Now
like
you
a-
mention it, yeah, it does look
that's like a big
thick.
toe thumb.
It's a PP looking thumb. I think that's why he
Ooh.
won.
Nice,
Mhm.
nice.
Like a limp one, but yeah. Anyway.
A limp
So-
one.
I had to just throw that in there because, like, holy fuck, we literally had not even launched and the man got a tattoo. Like, what an act of faith that is. Like, crazy, man. It's fucking
Well,
insane.
thankfully you guys launched. So
Yeah, we didn't rug, so well done, David. You imagine walking around with that, and I just fucked off and just didn't do it. But anyway, and then the winner, who is receiving $1,000 worth of PP, is this guy, Random Hero, for his custom Converse, which look older than me, and he printed this mug himself as well. I actually met this guy at one of the Lamborghini races, and he printed himself a T-shirt with like a Poor Pleb wallpaper all over it. And man, it just looked cool. It just had like hundreds of the little plebs all over the place, and I just said, mate, I need one of them. I need one of them T-shirts making. So, but yeah, as I say, I didn't pick these winners. I just put the tattoo guy and Mr. Burnin, but this was picked by the team as the number one. I just think that's cool, and yeah, awesome. So congratulations, Random Hero. You're getting $1,000 worth of PP. Well played, sir.
Well, daggum. That's an expensive PP. High quality PP right there. Yeah.
Fun fact as well is that everyone who sacrificed is in profit.
There
Well,
you
unless
go.
they sack like less than $10. So.
Will that happen with PulseChain? Motley, has your view changed that we could come down and touch or go below original sack price?
With PulseX, I think so. PulseChain, 50-50.
Big K.
I mean, I also think that we could go down. I mean, just because lots of
Depending
people,
on when we launch, too.
Yes.
when we launch and how many people actually bought PulseX with the intention of buying Pulse.
And Hexy Bastard, before I ask you the same question, chat, post your favorite of the top 10 that we just saw there. I'm just curious as to your thoughts real quick. Hexy, do you think PulseChain after launch comes down to touch sack or goes below, or we off to the races kind of?
Unpopular opinion, I actually think we're going to go lower.
Really? Okay.
I didn't used to think this way, but now I'm starting to think that way just because of the amount of time it's been, and like people will really want their money out by now.
That's possible. It's very possible. I mean, I have thought that I'm sure that there's people that have over sacrificed.
It's also what every layer one's done after it's released from the ICO prices. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it goes like a lot below the price, but I do think it sits below the price for like a short time, which is good because I'll be buying some. Like, I don't care. I'll buy.
If you could get a 50, think about it. Ethereum went from 30-cent ICO to 15-cent, low. If you could pick up, a 50% discount on your SAG price, would you pick up some more?
And even that was fleeting on like, I believe it was Kraken. It was just like on the Kraken exchange, and it was more or less a wick. So that opportunity, that window of opportunity might be small.
And Patrick, are you in agreement?
I also think that both Pulse and PulseX. So first of all, what is the sacrifice price? Are we going to say 3 zeros and a 1, like 1 to 10,000? then yes, for sure, both will be under that price, in my opinion.
And there you have it.
And Cabana's dreams were crushed.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna have to wait longer.
I can't
I can also
dump all
give you
my pulse
reasoning.
immediately. I gotta wait. Oh man.
I have like some additional reasoning for that. So
Please share.
yes, like people already said, the time. Then it's also like the kind of how Richard changed, maybe like from last year to this year, and people just don't agree. And usually in cryptocurrencies there is like a lot of religion when it comes to crypto coin investment. And then I also, so the main reason why I think we will see lower prices than 3 zeros and the 1 is that within the first 40-30 sacrifice addresses, there are, first of all, there are some pool addresses, so it's more than just 30 or 40 people. And those addresses already got a 2x bonus or more with the volume bonus. So I think we reach at least a price where all those people are like at their entry mark, which is 4 zeros and a 5 or less.
4 zeros and a 5.
I think that sounds very reasonable.
It's too reasonable. I don't think we go
I
below
like it.
I don't think we go below it. On PulseChain, I think PulseX, yes.
Oh, PulseX is like
the flip too, but that also goes in my thesis as to why I don't think we're going to dip too hard on PulseChain, because a lot of people are going to move that PulseX into Pulse, and
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be right away too. Like it could be after we do our first 3 to 5x, and then we get that dip.
Yeah.
I was just
So
say,
I also think we will have like a huge upturn in the first few days, like we see in basically nearly all the currencies, which are not like just given away for free. Because if it's just an airdrop, you usually see a dip in the beginning, on the first few days. But if it's like something new coming out, it's usually always a green candle in the first few days. And even with airdrop sometimes, so we saw that, for example, with the uni airdrop, the first 40 hours it went just straight up, and then it made like a 70 or 75 correction.
Yeah, I think the best strategy is just play off the premier assets, right? So you have PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex on this new chain that are going to be the premier assets, and we know PulseChain's potentially going to run first. If it does run, that means PulseX and even Hex are probably going to dip when we first launch. So you can pick those up at a discount, and then they're going to rotate, right? Like everyone, there's going to be those times where PulseX is pumping, PulseChain's not, Hex is pumping, PulseX isn't. Like you'll have those chances to pivot into.
Do you really think so? Do you
I
really think so? Because in my point of view, I guess liquidity might be getting together, and then it's like Hart's law, so they move up and down together.
It depends on the liquidity. We don't know, right? Like we don't know what the liquidity is going to be tied for the different assets. It's one of many variables that we just don't know yet. So have to
if the liquidity
have
gets
to adjust
bonded, then it's a different story, right? But if the liquidity is not bonded, then I totally agree with what.
Well,
Martin's
even
saying.
even if it's bonded, it's by how much, right? Like it's just dependent. Like we're not saying that stuff. Yes, you have the AMM bot, but after that, there's going to be actors that are going to input liquidity on different assets or different pairs that they deem they might want more of in the future. Like we just don't know. There's a lot of error. This is what's the problem with people ask, like, what's going to dip first? Where the price is going to be, etc. Like there's too many variables. We just don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, another reason why I'm highly speculating that we will see lower prices than 3 zeros and the 1 is also like to warn the people a little bit. If you sacrificed, you should like keep that in mind, that can happen. You should have also kept it in mind that if you bought Hex on the first day, it might dip afterwards, which it did, and most of those people sold after that. Yeah, if they would have just like saw a little bit of long term of a longer time frame into that. What I remember, mid-May we were already at higher prices than on the first day, like the 2nd of December of 2019, and yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I'm saying that out on the live stream. Not like because I want to fat my own back, but because I want to take care of the future buyers there, and also or like of the old buyers, and then also of the future buyers, because there are a ton of people who did not sacrifice for Pulse and for Pulse X and want to have it, and I want to prevent those people a little bit from FOMOing day one, like most of us did with Hex, for example, because I would put my strategy. I would have my stable coins. I would wait for the bridge go live, bridge in once my stable coins, and then because I have a near fee-less environment, even if it's just $1,000 or $100, I can still make 10 transactions, 100 transactions if I want to. So, for example, I bought Hex about 50 times 50 days in the first 100 days of Hex, and that's how I got basically my Hex portfolio, and that's how I later on I reached like financial freedom with that. And I guess most on the stream here did kind of the same thing. Yeah, maybe the dollar cost averaged in longer, maybe shorter,
Not me.
but kind of the same thing.
You came later, sir.
Yes,
I
you
came
did.
much later.
But yeah, like what Patrick was saying, to me it was very clear day two to adjust my strategy, right? Like, I mean, I didn't like FOMO in, but like after 2 years of waiting, and we're experiencing the same thing with PulseChain, we're over a year now, like you tend to want to ape in first, like the first day. It's just human tendency. Just people can't help themselves. When you've been waiting for something for so long, it's hard to just sit on the sidelines, right? But with Hex, it was the same way. We had to wait 2 years. We had to wait twice as long. And the first day, I was just like, I wanted to go in. I wanted to start constructing my staking ladder. And so like I started putting in more each time. I was just like, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then by day two, and seeing the amount of Ethereum that had gone in from day one, it was like 20,000 plus Ethereum. And day two, it was almost half that. It was very clear that I just had to pivot from my original, well, not even my strategy. I just had to pivot from like, okay, you clearly can't just ape in on day one. Let's DCA over the long term, because clearly we're going to trend down for a while everyone's accumulating and you go through this hyperinflation point. So it was, the product didn't change. And it's going to be the same thing with PulseChain. Like the product's not going to change. We're going to get a fork of essentially Ethereum 2.0. We're going to have proof of stake. Nothing's changing that you invested in. But over time, you might see that FOMO. You might see people selling on a 2x, a 3x, and we get that dip. But if you're DCA and you can actually catch those lows, like I was able to catch that low on, I believe it was day 33. And the way my strategy was going as I was DCAing into the adoption amplifier was I would open my laptop every night. I think it was 8 o'clock Eastern time for me every day. I'd see how much ETH had been put into the adoption amplifier, and then I would calibrate how much I was going to put in that day. I would do that every day. So like when day 33 came up, I was like, oh, wow, it looks like this is going to be the least amount of ETH put in to date that I've seen. So like, I think I probably did like 2 or 3 Ethereum that day because I just readjusted from what I had seen previously. So that DCA strategy enables you to, yes, maybe you catch the run up, but maybe you also catch those dips when we maybe fall below the SAC price, even if you sacrifice for PulseChain, PulseX, what have you. So just be flexible, be willing to adjust, and don't just blow all your dry powder on day one. What Patrick was saying is probably going to be the ideal strategy. Like no one's going to time that perfect bottom. It's very rare. And if you do, you're not going to do it with your whole bag.
Yeah, and usually good cryptocurrencies have their all-time low within their first 100 days, which is the first 3-4 months.
Yeah. Agreed.
I hope it dumps like fuck.
True.
I really do, because I just
thank you for that analysis.
But I still kind of remain a little bit more bullish on PulseX for like the longer term. Whatever the low is on PulseX, I think that might actually outperform PulseChain in the long term, because you get
I absolutely agree. And you know why? Because in the first place, I think PulseX will make a lower low than Pulse. And then like
more
if
gains.
Richard starts like from measuring, the lowest point, then it's obviously more access from the lowest points till the highest. Yeah. Because I guess PulseX will overreact, or more overreact than Pulse.
Agreed. PulseX will dip harder, more than likely. And then I think it just overall has better tokenomics. The problem with that is just PulseChain has what's like the hot topic, right? Layer ones are what everyone invested in, what everyone made money in this last bull cycle. So we're going to see that pump hard, potentially see that pump harder than anything else initially. But PulseX in the long run just has better tokenomics with the mechanics, and you don't need outside buyers to come in. The people that are still participating, activating this ecosystem, which is everyone that we have here on screen and in the chat and the Richard Hart ecosystem, they're still going to be operating, right? We're still going to be on the playground. We're still going to be bringing in new users. And the cool thing about PulseX is like it has that Godwill built in with the buy and burn. Like you have this constant buyer that's actually encoded into the actual PulseX, the DEX itself. So it's interesting. A lot of people like to compare the gains of what decentralized exchanges have done already, but there hasn't been anything that exists like PulseX to date. So you can't really give it a fair comparison. And so I know people are discounting it because we do kind of know it's going to dump. But like Patrick said, that's also potentially going to give you the most upside as far as going from the lowest point to all-time highs, if you take that opportunity, if you're that one that maybe buys that PulseX when it takes its first 80, 90% dip. So it's something to consider when you're DCAing into these assets.
Another thing is, like, I guess you can earn a better yield with your PulseX than with your Pulse.
With single side staking and everything else.
If we get it though, right? Like single sided or PulseX? Like I thought
that hasn't changed. Why would that change? Why would that change?
I didn't think.
What does that have to do with pivoting from forking Binance Smart Chain to Ethereum 2.0? That won't change PulseX. And I think in the last tweet too, he said PulseX has been like complete more or less for a while now.
Do we know what the incentive tokens?
His words were PulseX has been fine for a long time.
Yep.
Yes.
So that shouldn't change.
Okay, yeah. I guess I got crossed up with incentive token. So
that might take like 2 or 3 weeks to actually take effect. So some things, another common misconception people do with PulseX is the PRT token or the party token. So the way that single side staking is, you would stake your PulseX, and then new projects, new coins that want to like essentially market to our new ecosystem that we have on PulseChain would give a percentage of their token allocation to new users that are single staking their PulseX. And let's say PP token was coming out and they wanted to distribute it to the single side PulseX stakers. They could allocate 1% of the tokens. So that's something that might take some time to get more third party tokens to come in, but eventually third parties or single side staking should still exist and maybe ramp up over time as we get more adoption.
Yeah, so single-sided is definitely different from the incentive because that's liquidity providing. But yeah, so you have like what Big K would love, free coins, I guess, that you could just, get and dump. But Monica's single-sided staking, I thought that was a no-go at launch. I think that is correct, like right at the launch. I think that will take time to go out. I remember reading that somewhere.
Well, it's just like I was saying, right? Like you need people to, like, they have a token, they want their token to participate on PulseChain. They have to be willing to give up a percentage of their tokens to distribute. It's just a marketing campaign essentially. Yeah. But like you have stuff with that with like Pancake Swap right now.
Yeah, and when it comes to PulseX, we still have like kind of Uniswap version 2, right? So it's like 50-50 and not like range liquidity trading or something like that.
Correct. As of now, yes.
Yeah, but like next year there could be an update to that, right?
Potentially, yeah. I believe the license comes up in April, is available for completely open source.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob was like, yes, you could be practicing all this stuff on ETHW at discounted prices. Just say it.
Yeah, show your bags, Bob. Already dumped.
Or you can also just do it on testnet for real, or kind of halfway for real. But yeah, man, I miss testnet. I want V3. Let's go.
Yeah, V3 would be nice. V3 is, I think that could be a good point for a lot of you people that are looking to DCA in. Like these are good DCA prices. Anywhere between 34 cents, I think is great. Obviously, we could go lower. We could pump again like we were seeing earlier. These are just good ranges to go ahead and dollar cost back in. But I think once you get V3, I think that's a pretty good indication. We now have a new testnet of Ethereum 2.0 fork. And after that, the next indication we're probably looking for is that time window of Richard's like, hey, next 48 hours, 72 hours, what have you, PulseChain will go live. So then you'll really see the FOMO kick up. So I think V3 is a very good spot to go ahead and like, okay, if you want Hex come the fork, that's probably your optimal chance.
How long are we in V3?
I don't know. BK could probably
I
answer
guess.
that better. Like a month or
Okay.
two.
Yeah.
The good
That
thing
long?
about
Okay.
well, I mean, maybe a month. The time we already seen the time windows get elongated nonstop. So why not err on the side of caution? But I mean, luckily,
No more than 3 months. 2 months at most. That's still even really long. Like, why? Why all that time? We know shit works.
Ethereum 2.0 has done the work for us. Yep, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. Is Ethereum 2.0 has already done the trials and the time for us. So as long as Richard's essentially put in the few changes he wants to make, as long as there's no issues with that, they're not like pulling on threads and other stuff starts breaking, you shouldn't see maybe another month or two after V3, I would think.
Hex Devin, V3 and Hex goes to 8 cents probably. Hey, that's bearish if you're talking to dollar cost crypto. Talking like double digit cents, but you know. Monica, I still think party tokens should be named Twerk. TWRK. I can get along with that, especially because of Richard's.
I like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right. Well, I think that about wraps up that discussion. What else do we have? Oh, Patrick, as we close here on KSB.TV, a couple interesting items. One, the Hex Cruise, which is a little further out. I believe that's out in April. So
yes, that is
people that is still open to sign
yeah.
up, correct? Okay.
Yes.
And this is KSB.TV. And tell us about these Hexy Awards, because I think the nomination period ends very shortly.
Yeah, so for all the people watching the stream, you should go to KSB TV, scroll down a little bit, and then you find the Hexy Awards, the awards for our Hex influencers. It's just a Google Docs document, and then you find about 20 categories of all different kinds of things, and then you can just write your favorite Hexican in the category you want to have, and doing that, you are nominating your favorite Hexican. In this case, you know, you're writing Cabana Crypto, Motley Investor, Big K, Hexy Bastard, something like that in the fields there. And then in 2 days, on the 5th, we will have a stream on KSB TV, and then show the community all the nominated Hexicans. After that, people can vote, and the finals will be hand on the Hex Cruise. So like the ceremony, the giving out the awards.
Yes, and that will be an absolutely fun time for sure. And I've already said on the stream that if this show wins an award, drinks are going to be slung all over that boat, courtesy of
Cabana.
So get out and vote for Hexy Bastard too.
Exactly.
And Big K.
And the next
Motley
thing what we
Investor.
have, and the next thing what we have going on in 1 month from now, 1st till 3rd of December, we are celebrating the 3rd Hex birthday in San Diego in California.
Crazy. 3 years.
3 years.
3 years, yeah.
That's awesome.
I think we are going to do a Hex 3rd birthday in London as well.
Cheers to that, yo. 3 years, man. 3 years. Cheers.
Too cold, sir.
It is pretty fucking
Salute
cold
to you
in
guys.
December.
Oh yeah, it's bath time over here. I'm Spider-Man right now. So yeah, that's back to web slinging.
Yeah, your excellence. We are. Yeah, we'll talk later.
She's like,
Here's a
oh, are we?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Get
All
those
right.
party buses ready.
I need to get together with Freddie Quotes and do a DC one. And like a Florida party after the cruise or before the cruise too. So yeah.
Do a Florida one in December.
Footsteps, my Fireball partner in crime. I won a Fireball paid by Cabana Crypto. You have it, and so will many others if this show wins something. So vote. And I guess Patrick, when after the nominations, I guess, then how many, I guess, nominees for each award will there be, and what is the timeline for the next voting process? Do you have that yet?
I don't know the
Somewhere.
details yet. Kaylin has all that. Kaylin definitely has all that. So the what I know, it will be like up to 5 nominees per category.
Cool.
And I don't know and it will end before the Hex Crew starts. Yeah, so 5 nominees for each award, and the time frame will be like somewhere before the Hex Crew starts. We will end the time frame that you can vote for your favorite Hexican.
She's there answering your questions live in the chat. So if you have any more,
Thanks,
post
Katie.
away really
Yeah.
quick.
And if you have any other questions, so on KSB TV, you have a contact page as well, where you can contact Let's Talk About Hex on Telegram, or Kaylin in real life, or Black Hexican on Twitter. She's our manager behind it, and she's like planning all the stuff. And yeah, Cabana and Motley and Big K, you all 3 know how well of a job she is doing when it comes to planning Hexican parties.
Nothing but praise for her in my many interactions with her at different events. She is just outstanding.
We'd all be lost without her.
Yeah. She is a force. So
we would just drink at a bar every time. We'd just be sitting there drinking at a bar.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Including that in the plan's not bad, but it's fun to do other things too.
Yeah, Vets in Crypto, San Diego, December 2nd. Let's do this. So, yeah, it sounds awesome. Yeah, we got to do something. DC, Florida. We just need to have hex parties all over the country and
I mean, especially like if you're in the area, you know, then just look up the websites, because you can also get like tickets for the individual things. For example, for the meetup on the 1st in the evening, there is not even a ticket price. So if you're nearby, you know, and want to meet your some Hexicans, then just come and join us. And also like for the nightclub party on the 2nd of December, general admission is just $25. If you want to have it like really nice, you know, in the VIP section with bottle service, then it's $250.
Yep. A couple more notes on the site, Patrick. I know we have no date for a Pulse launch, but is the general?
I'm sorry.
Are these general areas like this is kind of the layout of what will happen eventually once we get a Pulse launch?
Yeah, exactly. So the initial idea already came before the 5555 tour, because, you know, back directly after the PulseChain sacrifice phase, we all thought that, okay, PulseChain will come out in the next month or 2. So I thought, okay, we just like start the tour right now, and then when PulseChain comes out, I finally can do the onboarding process like I want to, like gifting really everybody some crypto in the first place at registration, and then have a workshop where you can really show them their first clicks, you know, and they do that on their device as well. So that's still the idea for the 1 million Pulse tour. You know, I still want to make this kind of onboarding, and the main topic is still like how to be your own bank, you know, mainly on the PulseChain, and how to use PulseX, you know, how to stake Hex and all those kinds of stuff. Maybe like something with decentralized liquidity providing as well. All those topics are how to be your own bank. And then we are now waiting until PulseChain comes out. And once PulseChain is out, we will see like what date that is, and then we will grind a little bit in the background, and then we will start announce the first cities with the actual dates, with the hours, you know, with the exact location and all that stuff.
Cool stuff.
Big K, remember when I think we were on the show when we probably just had the PulseChain sacrifice, and I think Cabana was asking us like estimates, and I remember like no one was really doing more than 1 or 2 months, but Big K was just like, yeah, after 2 months, like I just think people are going to be getting a little crazy, just like, you know,
I remember
really
that.
need to launch
I remember that talk very clearly. I was like, I don't know, man. 3 months.
I was right there
is
with
a long
you.
time to hold on to these people. It's crazy.
You also wrapped the car in PulseChain in the end of August last year.
Yeah.
So that's like my level. You know how confident I was that PulseChain will come out. We wrapped an Audi in PulseChain in the end of August last year.
Needless to say, we didn't do that.
We've been wrong before here. I never claim to be right about anything. I mean, I'm the first one to be like, I don't know what I'm doing up here. I appreciate all of you for watching whatever this is. But no, that was that. Yeah, I've.
You know,
we're off by a little bit.
If I have
been wrong before, but
that was. If I have this great team now on the show, I would like to ask everybody, how do you guys think should the best crypto onboarding workshop look like on the 1 million Pulse Tour? Who wants to start?
I will start.
I mean, I'm all for pyrotechnics, if possible. Titties.
We have the bar meetup.
Yeah, I was going to say
those are always
titties.
So BK,
alcohol is a big one. Alcohol is the easiest one. You
that's
can
the
make the other
networker of
ones.
networkers.
Yeah, that helps.
So BK, I can come back to you when we start, or what? Like when to fund something like that.
No, so I think it's a balance, right? Because like when I met up with you guys in Florida and went to the couple of the Florida ones, like I realized really quickly, like it's a fine balance we have to kind of like walk, right? Because there's a lot of information that you try to regurgitate to people. But when you think about it, like all of us have been here for 5, 6, 7 years plus, and we try to condense as much as that information on top of a cryptocurrency that's probably ahead of its time already. It's very revolutionary as it is. And it's very tough to compress all that in one meeting. And I remember like one of the first ones I did with you guys in Florida, I was like, it's some of the best condensed information you can get, but you struggle when you have a room full of people and you're trying to give them an hour, 2-hour presentation and you give them that fire hose of information and you just lose them. And it's no fault to you guys or anyone else. It's just, it's so information heavy. You can't keep their attention. You have like that 30-40 minute window tops where if you don't get the message across or if you don't get the bare minimum to them, you lose them because their attention span just isn't long enough. So like that was probably my biggest takeaway and like advice for you guys is even if you have to forego some of the information or some of the crucial parts, getting the core message across as quickly as possible without deviating from that path is vital. So get them set up, get them introduced, because a lot of these people are new to crypto in general. Get them introduced to what crypto is, the kind of key tenets that we have with it. And then from there, you can more easily show them in the future why something like a Hex or a PulseChain or a PulseX essentially adheres to those key tenets that you taught early on. So big thing is get them set up early, quickly, show them a couple things of why this can change your life. And then we can fill in the stuff over time, right? Like we have the community, we have the people that are willing to sacrifice their time and help these newcomers along. Just introduce them to that. And like you can fill in the nitty gritty details over that time, but get them with the hook, get them with the important stuff that keeps them locked in, and the community can fill in the rest later. Like we can latch on, we can introduce them to the Twitter spaces, introduce them to the Telegram spaces, and then we can take it the last step. But when you're marketing or when you're trying to do these seminars, you can't drone on past an hour. You get past an hour, you just lose them, no matter how interesting or
honestly, I think I can.
A half hour or less, it would be incredible. Yeah. You know, like that would be tough.
I mean, but honestly, Motley. Yeah, honestly, Motley, I think I can, because one of the changes we are going to make is that we are doing a full day crypto onboarding course, like a kind of a crypto masterclass, and we will sell it will come with a ticket price. So what does that do? It makes that only dedicated people come there, and it will also, like, after you purchase your ticket, you will receive an email with an attachment where a lot is already explained, like not from the crypto space, but what will happen on the day, the structure of the day. It will explain that you can come with your phone, that you can come with your laptop, that you can for example buy a hardware wallet on the spot as well, and all the options you can do on the day. And,
so couple things with that as well. So, and this is something too that like I love you guys, but like I know like sometimes there's a cultural barrier as well too, because German culture and or Austrian culture is very different than what we have. I know Patrick's very sensitive if you say German as opposed to Austrian, but it's very different than the US, right? Like you have to keep our focus much more than what you would have to do in your culture. So yes, I believe adding a price tag to that does incentivize them to be more invested and more engaged. But then also I would bring up the points of make sure you format your presentation to keep them awake. So yes, regurgitating a lot of information is great, but do break it up with actual activities where they actually have to be involved in setting stuff up or interacting with each other. There's a format where you have to do it as opposed to just regurgitating information to them for an hour or 2 hours straight, regardless if they pay for it or not. There is that incentive that kind of keeps them a little bit more engaged, but there's a way to structure, especially for Americans in general, like our attention span is terrible. Regardless of if you pay or not, it is. So I would challenge you guys to essentially find very hands-on activities that break up, let's say, like you said, if it's a full day of crypto, that it breaks up that full day of, yes, you get a lot of information, but there's also a lot of very hands-on stuff or engagement where it kind of wakes them up, where like you get out of your seat, you're interacting with someone else, you're interacting with the tools, you're doing it yourself, something that just breaks up the monotony of just getting fire hose of information down your throat for 2 hours, 3 hours till lunch, and then you get another 2 or 3 hours. So I agree, the price wall is good, but there's always rooms for improvement as far as trying to keep people that have short attention spans naturally engaged. But I think that is a step in the right direction.
And don't feel like you have to give them like, oh, they need all this information because they paid. Like, keep it tight and entertaining.
Yeah,
you know, that's
tight, but with follow-up opportunities, no, and with
I mean, like give them all the
Q&As as well, you know, because I always think, you know, I didn't do the 5555 tour for me. I mean, I wanted to see America, but not like necessarily do all those workshops in each and every city. But we did it, or I wanted to do that in order to be at the people, you know. And what I did at each and every workshop was at least like half an hour of Q&A, because I'm not there I'm there for the people and not the other way around, you know.
I think there's
stuff is awesome. You do have to do that.
I want to use myself as an example because I'm actually a very prime candidate for what I just went over. Something as simple as like during the seminar, making them make a Twitter, make a Telegram, because like I had a Telegram from the last crypto cycle, but that's not a common thing for your average person. I couldn't stand Twitter as social media. Still probably can't stand it to this date, but these are like crucial aspects of our community and crypto in general that you need. And just have like, even me who was invested in Richard Hart and the product of Hex early on, I remember to this day because it sticks out so clearly in my head, because I would actually probably have a lot more Hex. I would be like God whale status. I feel like if I had invested as much like of my social time into Hex as I do now, because early on, I remember very, very clearly Richard would do his YouTube streams of like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And he would make a specific point of, he's like, hey, all you guys that listen to me on YouTube, get in my Telegram groups, get on Twitter. He's like, you guys are literally the last people that get any information from me or the community or anything else. But like, I didn't listen to that for months. Like I was just watching his YouTube videos. So like, these YouTube videos are great. This is how I consume information. And I wasn't actively involved in the community like the first couple months. Like I still invested and I still had a large footprint. But man, if I'd been in the Telegram groups, if I'd been in Twitter, if I'd seen the strong community, if I had people to like guide me that extra step, it would have meant the world of a difference, right? Like I could have 2, 3, 4, 5x time my bag. I would have been more engaged earlier on. And we know in crypto, the earlier on you get into these new ecosystems, these new products, you do realize those life-changing gains. The OGs of today, we experienced those life-changing gains because we were on the ground floor. We did take the most risk, but we had the community surrounding us to give us that confidence to proceed forward. So even something as simple as setting up a Twitter showing them the Telegram groups can pay dividends more than anything
it's
of
double-
showing them a T-share and everything.
I came back just to like quadruple that one, because like it's not only it's a double-edged thing. Not just great, amazing for them, because it is like that's like I mean I've learned the most from other people that I had befriended in crypto than I have ever from like the general pop on Twitter. But like getting them to make that step is super important, and like it's also like I said, double-edged in the sense that like along the way you're gaining your community and your followers and your people around you too that are like-minded and are willing to listen to the stuff you're disseminating. Like you get like why do all the work if you're not even getting a couple add-on Twitter followers that aren't even bots? They're just people that were in your class. That's like, it's a no-brainer, really. So yes,
I was already thinking about something like that as well. Yeah, like for a follow-up that you on the spot you have, or that you just have like a private Telegram group, that you eliminate those scammers right away, and then only you like going through the country and going from like spot to spot, and spread the word for follow-ups, then you have an easy thing, do you use Telegram? Yeah, I have it on my phone, or no, I don't have it on my phone. Yeah, download the free app, and then just like, yeah, give me your number and here is the invite link for the private group, or just add me at the contact and then I can add you to the private group. And that's because Telegram is always a little like for me, because there are so much scammers on there,
So the yes, the private Telegram groups is good, but still, and like I don't like the general Telegram groups. Like you said, they're not that. And maybe it's because we're a little bit out of touch since like we've far surpassed that at this point. And yes, you are a target to a degree. But then again, this is another module you can teach in the course, right? And probably the most important is security, because like making these gains in this wealth in crypto is amazing. But if you can't preserve it or protect it, it's useless. It's completely useless. Everything gets negated.
Yeah,
and wiped out. And one wrong move. So implementing that, of course, and this goes back to what I was trying to say, is just even the bare minimum, the introduction that might not even necessarily focus on Hex or PulseX or any of this stuff right away. It's just the security of just like very, very common knowledge for us, but it's lost on a no coiner. It's just seed phrase is everything. If someone is DMing you a private message, treat it as a scam. There's no one will ever need your seed phrase. Give them all the bare basic stuff. Teach them a hardware wallet, how it gives you an extra layer of security between you and your gains. Just these very basic stuff that doesn't necessarily have to do with the products that we're promoting can save them not only just a lifetime of heartache, but also, it puts them into the community and they know how to safeguard themselves. And then the community can continue to fill in those holes. Like I said, like maybe they don't get it in a 1 day or a 1 hour, 2 hour, or even an entire day seminar. The community can fill in those gaps, and then they have enough basic knowledge where they can safeguard themselves from the malicious actors that are within our community or within these social medias, and they're under the guise of a hexagon or what have you. So teaching those core fundamentals at a base level is, I think that's more vital than anything else, because once you give the tools for them to navigate these waters safely, that's the real test of getting them into a space like cryptocurrency where you take control of your own financial sovereignty, right? Like that's the most important probably lesson you could teach them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't realize how like ridiculously abundant the scammers were until I launched PP, because like we've had people impersonating our entire admin, and we're only like a little meme coin. Yeah, it's not like a huge operation we got going on here. We had people impersonating every single admin in our group,
admins, Telegram group, all of it.
Yeah, and one guy in our community did get scammed out of about $1,000, and like it's just so sad because someone basically was impersonating an admin, messaged them because they were having a problem with claiming their tokens or something like that. Oh, click this link and use this front end instead. And it was just something that basically drained your wallet straight away. And he had like $1,000 on his wallet. It's so fucking sad, man. But noobs just don't have a clue.
Dogcoin. They impersonated one of the founders or the founder, and same thing, ETH address, and boom, funds lost.
Yeah, it's a disgusting thing that they've got going on. But also you get imposters of like I've had imposters of influencers messaging me like, oh, we want to put you on the channel. Like, you know, high level, big people, and you look at it and it all looks legit. And even when they email you, it looks like it's coming from the correct email address. It's crazy, like the levels that these guys go to get your money. But if there's a way that they'll do it, they will definitely find a way. So security is like so paramount. And I think most onboards, even myself at the very beginning, I just didn't take it seriously at all. But when you're operating in chat rooms like Telegram or even Twitter, Discord, there's just fucking scammers everywhere, man. It's disgusting.
It's the number one lesson in crypto by far. And then like it's funny because like what you said is like even you didn't take it seriously in the beginning because like you know like you're coming in with like what you were coming in with a couple $100 for first time. Like we all start off at that low level, so we don't appreciate that $100 or we don't respect it even if we lose it, right? Because we're noobs and we don't know any better. We lose it, we're like, well, it was $100. But that $100 is an opportunity cost, right? Like $100 in Hex from all-time lows to all-time highs of a 10,000x. That's a shit ton of money, but we don't value it because it's just $100. But if you had that foundation of security in place from the get-go, that's life-changing gains from $100. We just don't respect it because there's no other asset class like this that can give you those kinds of gains. So like even when you're starting off new, young, you work at McDonald's, you only have a couple $100 to spend, you're talking about potentially life-changing gains. There is a massive opportunity cost of not having your security right. And that's why I think security is probably the number one fundamental that you want to lay down that foundation for when it comes to these new corners.
This is how crazy it is. One of the guys that impersonated me had the same username as me. Like how does that even happen? I don't know if he just like put that as his information or what. I don't know what it is, but he literally had the same username as me. And I'm like, how the fuck, you know?
They're very good. I's and L's are a nasty one they change up. With yours, it might be a little different.
You can make like the screen name whatever. It's like the handle that doesn't really show, I think. So like,
that was the handle though. That's why it was so weird. Like I've got a screenshot of it, and I'm like, how
depends on the platform, but like. Yeah, with mine, like Motley Investor, I have numerous fakes that change the L and the I's all the time. Like, it's stuff, and this is stuff you can teach. Like, hey, if like I'm reaching out to you, it's one, it's probably not real. You should treat it as not me to begin with. But two, like these are things people can do. They can change the I's and the L's. You think you're talking to this person, but they're not. If I started asking you these weird questions of seed phrase or send me money or anything like this, these are phishing scams. These are impersonations. Like these are things that you need to look out that you might not be familiar with anywhere else to date. Like crypto is the wild, wild west when it comes to this kind of stuff.
So please, people, if a Motley, if a Motley the investor reaches out to you because he is struggling with his big crypto portfolio right now and is asking that you can send him some money,
it's not me. I'm more likely to give you money than ask for money. It's not me.
Yeah, I mean, I like that idea a lot. You could almost like turn on the whole seminar into just to see like angle it as a security based, like crypto security based, you know, internet security, like that. It's a good angle because it is really the paramount of all of this stuff. I mean,
my overall topic is always how to be your own bank, and how to be your own bank. One of the biggest topics of that is security. So yes, obviously.
Yeah, it's a big step for a no corner because like especially, and again, this might be a little bit different depending on your culture, but especially in America, like we've become so reliant on all these middlemen, these banks and everyone else to take care of stuff for us. If we have a fraudulent charge to get our money back, or if we send money to the wrong area, like there's someone we can call. Like it's just, we're not used to just being like, oh, you made a mistake. Like that's it. Like it's gone. Like whatever you made the mistake on, whatever was in your account, like it's gone because you didn't either have the knowledge or you didn't take the critical steps to safeguard yourself. Like there is no calling for help. There's no company behind it. Like you said, the whole point of this course is like, or this tour is like, you are your own bank. And it's hard to rewire someone's brain that they've probably spent the past 10, 20, 30, up to 50 something years wired that way, where there's someone they can call, they can reverse transactions, stuff like that. It just doesn't exist when you are your own bank, like you were saying, Patrick. It's tough to.
There is no MetaMask support, you're saying?
Yeah, MetaMask support HO. Fuck that. Don't touch it.
Uniswap support page, please. Uniswap support page.
Yeah.
God,
It's a
mate.
whole different ball game, and people just aren't used to it. So security is definitely one of the first and most important things you should touch on. I agree.
I agree.
I think it depends upon the length too. So if it's like the shorter form to where it's like an hour or hour and a half, like you kind of did with the previous tour, I think there was a comment in the chat kind of like if it goes on too long after that first few minutes, like then you lose them. I think Motley's kind of alluded to that as well. So there has to be like a hook for them to stick around. And I think, there's, you have to be artful with the way of saying it, but something like, stick around for an investment that could potentially change your life, like it's changed, so many others, or from the same founder or something like that. That hooks
this is a cultural difference that I think is very different from like Austrian German to like US. And it's fine because like I had literally the first seminar I went to, and I had this conversation privately with Kaylin, and I told her, I was like, hey, they're like, it's great information, but they're losing these people like halfway through. And, she told me, she's like, oh, I tried to tell them that, but like, you guys are just built very differently than we are. Like, you guys are precise. You guys value the precise information, all the details. Like, you see it in your construction and your engineering. Like, Americans, you got to put on a spectacle for us. Like, you have to entertain us. We're much more anecdotal. We like the stories. We like the come ups. We like the hitting them with the passion. And you can put good information in there. It's just how you structure it. It's just like, it's just a very good juxtaposition between two different cultures that learn very differently from each other, or maybe give value to two different things. So learning to structure it more based to an American audience is very important, I think, for your tour. And I think you guys got a lot better with it as time went on, but you can definitely see a very big difference. Whereas like, it's tough because like Americans suck. Like when it comes to attention spans or stuff that actually matters, like trying to get us to pay attention to that stuff, it's like a dog with a treat. You just constantly have to be like rewarding them and bringing them back into focus, or you lose them.
Yeah.
I know what you could do is like, as soon as you start losing the crowd, you just play them the video of Richard twerking in front of the peacock. And then
there you go.
Everyone will be like, oh my God, yes, let's buy. Where do I buy,
like,
sir?
That's where I want to put my life savings in.
We're investing in something that's founded by this guy.
Bags the other day, man, where he's carrying them with his teeth. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it's like memes, jokes, stuff like that. We respond to that.
Yeah, like an entertainment break, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for your feedback, Motley. Awesome. Thanks a lot for that. And yes, Kaylin didn't had too much influence on the workshop we did on the 5555 tour.
Yeah,
that changed. that changed. Yeah, so that's definitely a change. And for example, what Kaylin did in the past before she went like all in crypto and in KSB TV, she made. She was like in the school, so she made plans for little kids, how they keep engaged,
Doesn't it change when we're adults?
We just changed for adults, and then like no coiners are like kids. I guess that's like great.
Lesson planning for crypto bros. That's it's like a tough task.
Kaylin's smart, and like she knows what she's doing, and it's probably going to be the biggest thing for you guys regardless, because like you guys obviously have done the tour, you guys have interacted and lived here and experienced the American culture for a while now, but like it's going to be that last little piece that you guys miss sometimes. I know you guys are, especially you, Patrick, like you know what you know, like you're a very intelligent individual, and like you're very precise, and like it's tough too, because I'm the same way too, right? Like I want to do the stuff like the way I think it should be done. And it's tough sometimes to bend a little bit when you want to do it the way you want to do it, but sometimes you're just not the subject matter in a certain area or culture or what have you, and you have to fall back to someone who has that expertise. And so like Kaylin has the expertise when it comes to American culture and teaching Americans. Like she does have that expertise, and it's a good give and take. You guys can always go back and forth and say like, hey, I would like to do this, and maybe she can give you a very constructive way to transfer that information, but in a way that like maybe holds a typical American's attention better than what you would be able to do something in Austria or Germany. So
Yeah, also, for example, I don't want to be the presenter anymore on the 1 million Pulse tour. That should be native speakers, you know. And throughout the 5555 tour, we found plenty of Hexicans who are perfect, who are a perfect fit for something like that, you know, and also
Agreed.
have a passion to teach, you know. And most, so like a lot of Hexicans, for example, of those specific ones I'm talking about, they did, for example, the introduction to our workshops, or came on stage later on, or something like that. So
Yeah, no, that was great. That was good. And yep.
Yeah, and I guess I'm just trying to think of like anything else. Like it's the, I guess, the length of the talk or conference. So if it's shorter, then your strategy is obviously different than like a day-long thing, because those are like the hardcore people. But even if it's something short, maybe you just supplement it with like online videos to take the pain out of sitting there and watching, you know, someone setting up their wallet and all this stuff. Like, obviously you want to cover that, but you might lose people, like Motley was saying, you know, if you get too much into the weeds with stuff like that. So maybe you phrase it something like, you know, for coming to this, you get exclusive access to the website with all of this that is walked through for you. And you go over the main points that keeps their attention and, you know, just really drives home the importance of it. And then they're all excited and be like, okay, you know, you just go to ksb.tv/pulse or something, whatever, you know what I mean? And then that's their portal, and everything is there, so they don't have to feel like they have to, you know, retain everything. But at the same time, it's like, oh, cool, because I went to this, I'm given this entire tool set that's available to me. And you make it like a private link on YouTube or whatever that's just for people who go to the, you know, things or whatever. But just trying to think of extra ideas.
Cool, thank you.
Yep. Well, that's about it for this week's show. We went a little longer because that was a great discussion. Hopefully, like, we have a chance to see this come to fruition, all these great ideas we've been talking about, in the next 6 months.
Just a matter of when, sir. Just
come on. Let's go. When Pulse. All right.
Yeah, you guys tell me when Pulse start, and I tell you when the first workshop is. Okay.
All right. Deal.
There you go.
Can I just ask the panel one quick question before you wrap up, Cabana?
The panel is here for you, sir.
Do you
Except
think
Motley.
that the Hex bear market is over?
I think the low is in. But
so yes,
some people might push back on that. The Hex low is in, I think.
Yeah, just Hex specifically. Like, do we go any lower than we already have gone?
I see so much priced in across the board in terms of traditional stuff. Now, Jay Powell, who is our cover boy this week on the thumbnail, he is on a mission to kill asset prices, like just flat out nuke them across the board. And I think, like, crypto, like, if he were to hate one of the asset classes out of all of them, it would be crypto. He would love
to get
to
the
see
least amount of it back.
He would love to see Bitcoin and Ethereum obliterated. And I don't think that I think other things will break in the financial systems, maybe not here, but across the world, to where he won't be able to nuke everything. Something's going to break somewhere along the line, and he's going to have to actually make a pivot, I'd say, in the next 3 months. But it's like a question of, do we break the lows before that? I don't know, man. So much of this stuff is priced in. If you're just talking traditional markets, like, you finally have the Microsofts breaking, Amazon, Google. Money is just flowing out of those into safer things, and usually that is like one of the last steps of total market capitulation. So, and Bitcoin has actually held up pretty darn well. I mean, considering so far. I'm not saying it will continue, but I also like that the God Whale was buying around 3 cents. We're closer to 4 cents right now, and if we get back down to 3, who's to say that he doesn't do another buy? I don't know. He's bought higher too, but it was cool to see, like, the Etherscan transfers of 7777. If you saw those transactions, I think it was a few days before.
And that guy loves his numbers, right?
And like a little signal, and you know what? He just comes out with like some really nice buys, and then that sent us off. And then we have some buffer now to come back down a little bit. I think I don't. Everybody wanting Hex at a penny or below, I don't think you're getting it. I don't even think you'll get it below 2 pennies. Maybe on a crazy, stupid wick if Richard gets his 11K Bitcoin call, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it. But we could have a black swan bomb could go off over in Ukraine or something like that, and then markets get nuked. There you go. There's your bottom. But let's hope not.
I see a little chance that we get like a lower low, but I only see that directly after the PulseChain launch. So if you don't buy Hex before that or around those levels, I don't think that you will get more Hex by waiting. Because even if we have like a lower low of like 2.5 cents, it is better to buy Hex now, because then you get the Hex doubled. Because if you just buy it at 2.5 after the fork, for example, you would need to buy for 2.5 cents on this side and maybe on the other side as well. So that would be already like 5 cents instead of a little less than 4. So even with this chance in mind, I would still buy Hex now because I have the doubling. If I stake it as well, I have like a big risk reduction what I can do with my Hex.
Yeah. I think it's all, kind of, I know Richard is, a crypto founder and all that, but I'm pretty sure by kind of like reading in between some of his tweets, he's kind of waiting on that Fed pivot too. And when that pivot happens, that's what?
It's not in sight yet, sir. So my thing,
I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying I think that's the moment that he's gonna say. His pin tweet is, "I will stop bragging about calling the top when I start bragging about calling the bottom." I don't think he's gonna call that bottom until there's a noticeable pivot. But
my stance is essentially safeguard yourself either way, right? Make sure you have exposure. Like I was saying earlier, I think this, from our lows of 2.8 cents to where we're at right now, roughly around 4 cents. Like, I think this is a great DCA entry. You can do the dynamic DCA. If we start going lower, you can allocate a larger percentage to DCA and back into Hex. If we start going higher, that's okay. If you already got your allocation right, cool. Keep your dry capital on the sideline. You will get a new opportunity with PulseChain going live day one, PulseX, a whole new ecosystem. So you have this whole new opportunity that you can invest in over here. So like being hedged either way, I think is very critical right now. I think we're in that range where this is a great buy zone, but this is also a spot where you don't want to go all in, because we're looking at like potentially, if we do go lower, another 50% or lower situation. But regardless, you should have a position. Now, ultimately, Godwell is amazing, but Godwell, Richard, I don't care how large of a player you are, the macro controls everything. We see it in all assets, stock, real estate, companies, crypto, any of it. Macro controls everything. Europe is in trouble.
I disagree.
Okay, that's fine. We can talk about it at the end of this. But I think macro ultimately controls a majority of where these markets and these risk on assets go. When it comes to, and the US is the guiding force of that right now. Powell, essentially with this last Fed meeting, has essentially portrayed that he has no intention of lighting up. One of the biggest things that I gathered from this last Fed meeting was he'd rather, and he understands that maybe we continue to raise rates to the point where like we've done more damage than good. But he made the specific comment. He would rather go
overshoot it.
He would rather overshoot and then try to stimulate the economy and essentially resuscitate you than go too short. And then we have this entrenched inflation. So his stance was pretty much hard nosed this time, as in, I'd rather to take this out longer and harder than I am to prematurely pivot. So that was the biggest takeaway I got from that entire Fed meeting we just had. And so that is his current stance. And ultimately, that's going to bring down everything. And this is they're still waiting on employment to raise. Like we're still waiting for unemployment to run up. He's not willing to pivot. He'd rather resuscitate than cut this off too prematurely. So ultimately, I think stuff like crypto is going to be one of those assets that's going to get impacted first. Stocks, everything's going to follow. So regardless of that, hedge either way. This is a good entry. Maybe we go down to 50, 60, 70% lower from here. Maybe we don't, but you have your position, right? And you have another opportunity on the other side if you didn't get as much as you wanted. If we go lower, you still have dry capital to actually deploy. You're hedged either way. I think that's the smartest way to handle the situation because no one has the crystal ball. Patrick doesn't think the macro plays as large of a impact as it does.
When it comes to Hex. When it
comes to Hex, so like he can make his point on that. But regardless, if he's wrong or right, you're hedged either way, right? Because you have an entry, you have future opportunities that are coming day one. So you're hedged, right? And I think that's the best way to do it. That's what DCA protects you against. So no one knows where we're going. I think we're still in a lot of I think we still have a lot of downside pressure coming from the macro. As of what we got from the Fed meeting recently, they're not looking to pivot. They'd rather go too far than stop short. So for me, I'm happy with the position I'm in currently. If we go lower, I deploy more capital. If we start pumping quickly and we don't reach those lower marks, okay, I didn't necessarily get as much as I wanted, but I'm okay taking that dry powder and moving that into new assets that we know are coming into our ecosystem. So I think it's just all about balance, and no one knows you better than you do, right? Like your emotional state, what you're comfortable with. So if you're uncomfortable being completely out of the asset, go ahead and start DCAing in. If you're not comfortable with your position, you don't have enough, DCA in a little bit more. If you think we're going lower, that's okay. Make sure you have enough dry capital on the backside. It's just there's no clear-cut A and B answer. You got to tailor it to you. You got to understand yourself more than anyone else. And ultimately, I think these markets and where we're going in the future determine all these assets, especially these risk-on assets like crypto. So be prepared either direction. And we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. And we got time.
I mean, what I see that the macroeconomics, like when it comes to regulations, yes, they have an impact. But when it comes like to the interest rates and like to how in what shape the economy is, I guess it has less of an impact. And I'm saying that because when the economy like was kind of the worst when the pandemic first hit it in March 2020, from this time, Hex was like the best asset in the whole world. In the 6 weeks afterwards, because like on the lowest point of March 2020, just 6 weeks after till mid-May, Hex made about 5,000%.
And I guess the last thing I would probably say too is like I'm pretty much agree with you, Patrick. Like I think there is a strong chance we could have bottomed because like look at the FUD. This was probably the most extreme FUD that we've had to date over this past day or two. And there's very little change in the price, and it would take a lot. It would take a lot of dumpage to lower the price back to make a new lower low. So, do we get there? Maybe it's pretty unlikely. And I think this was a good test of if we actually see those kind of numbers. And Hex is held very strong. And there's a few players that I saw dumping their bags that made me very happy, actually. But
yeah, me too.
I won't say it publicly, but for those that know. But yeah, there's some large players that I didn't mind dumping their bags past couple of days. But it didn't have much of an effect on the price. So maybe the Hex bottom is in, but maybe the macro has more to go. That's fine, right? But again, that goes back to my underlying strategy of hedge yourself either direction the markets tend to move, whether it's more to the downside or if we go up from here. Just make sure you have an allocation in now. And you still have dry powder to the downside if you need to.
Yep, great strategy.
So I think we did the double bottom, and then that double bottom looks pretty solid to me. But I actually think where we are right now is a really critical zone because we kind of pumped halfway to the last high, which was about 7 cents. We got about halfway there. Now we're starting to retrace a bit. Now, if it retraces kind of all the way down, then I'm expecting it to go lower. But if we can just grind up and just get above that 7 cents again, then I'm going to be like hella bullish because the double bottom looks really strong, but like on the slightly shorter time frame, like just on the daily at the moment, like where the retrace is happening, it could be healthy, but it could also be like quite dreadful. So I'm very 50-50 right now.
We have so many events going on, like monthly jobs reports, CPI here in the States. So all these are, you know, if Jay Powell says he's data dependent, well, there's going to be a slew of data coming out every few weeks that, you know, impacts these decisions. And then these decisions impact the markets, which could impact Hex. Just like to Motley's point, he brought up maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes ago, is like I was on with Hexycat, shout out to his podcast. I think it might be out next week or whatever, but we got to talking about the same thing and DCAing, and I just like to put myself in win-win situations. So as Motley was saying earlier, like if you have some here, if you put some on here, you know, in your bags, great, don't go all in. And if we go lower, you win because you get to buy lower. If we go up from here forever, you win because you bought the bottom. So now is a great time to do it because we are so low. We've gotten, you know, crypto has just been beating the smithereens, and, you know, all of them, Bitcoin, Ethereum, some more than others, and Hex. So that's what I like to do is just, again, put yourself in a win-win situation. If you put some on here, what's the worst that could happen? It either goes lower, okay, darn, but if you didn't go all in, you can buy that and you win again. If we go straight up from here, you're good to go.
Never be too greedy. Never be too fearful.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
Now, if we get a huge wick down, you better have quick fingers because that's either the low or the end of all markets. So,
or limit orders or setting V3 liquidity positions. There's a lot of ways to capture those low targets.
Right.
Yeah, better the liquidity portions, because if it's
V3.
just a wick, then with your V3, better limit orders than liquidity positions, because if it's just a wick, then you won't be able to end your position if you're just at a one-sized liquidity.
One-sided liquidity.
Yeah, because if it goes like in and then back out, you get, you know, you don't really get any of it anyway.
Yeah, you just end up with a little bit of fees. That's all.
Yeah. Also, with your limit orders, like, I know by saying this, I'm going to cause a cascade of like people are going to constantly front run each other. But if you look at the liquidity on V3, see where the limit orders are, and then just try and be just a little bit in front of them. Just a little. You don't have to catch the nuclear bottom, right? Just get it somewhere around, even buying it at 3 cents. If it wicks down to 2, are you going to be sad that you only bought it at 3?
Exactly.
Like, if it goes to $2, $3, $4 next cycle, like who fucking cares, man?
Does the limit orders show on V3 on the liquidity? I honestly don't know. Curious if you want.
I think limit orders do show on because you see like the random spikes and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean that could just be someone providing liquidity. I'm not 100% sure, so I was curious. Maybe like someone like Patrick or Big K might know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if limit orders actually show. I
believe there's a place you can view them at, but it's not under that view.
Like Bamboo Relay.
Yeah, Bamboo Relay. There it is. Mm-hmm.
These are some places that show limit orders.
Yeah, you got to cross reference with the liquidity.
I'm not 100% sure if they actually show on like V3 liquidity. So something to keep in mind. There might
probably wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is there might actually be limit orders that you don't see when you're just looking at the liquidity.
But even putting it in front of where the liquidity is like a good shout, because you can see that is where people are like putting their V3 positions in and stuff. It's just like catching it just before. It's probably not a bad play.
But imagine if there's a big player that has 10 million right before that, right? Because they did the same thing and the limit orders doesn't show. So something to keep in mind. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. That's why I was just kind of posing that question. I think
best thing you can do is just not be too greedy, man. Like, you don't have to get the absolute bottom. Like, if you get close to the bottom, you're gonna be happy.
Yeah.
So nobody ever gets like that bottom or that top with the whole amount of coins they have.
Never,
unless they make the bottom or make the top.
Yeah. I mean, but if you
still, you know, like those people might make the top, but not with all of the money they got, not with all their coins, for example.
Yeah,
A
'cause they'll
Bitcoin
take
whale might
slippage too.
made the top, but it's it's
I mean,
just
if you buy Hex at 3 cents or bought Hex at 3 cents or even 4 cents, and a year from now we're 10 times that amount, I'm going to say you bought the bottom. It's not an exact science, but it's just a process. So
Yeah,
if
you're
I
close
say, I bought the Bitcoin bottom years ago, I didn't catch the exact low, but I bought for like 3K or whatever, somewhere close to there. So if you just DCA in, you're buying that bottom. I mean, very few people, if one, can say, yep, I got that wick down and that was my order at that bottom tick. Who cares?
Yeah, it's like the same argument people try to say, like when Richard didn't call the top. They're like, well, there was that when it made a slightly new higher high, and like, oh, I pretty much sold my entire bag at Richard's call. Wrote it down, bought back perfectly, and then I sold the second all-time high because I'm a fucking miracle trader. It's like I call bullshit on 99.9%. Show me. Because I think you're full of shit. Yeah, show me a receipt. Because I would much rather go ahead and, let's say, make the play off Richard's call. And then, yes, you do have that one new slightly all-time, slightly higher high for a day or two. And after that, it was all back downside. I'd much rather just make my profit then instead of this like magical person that says they like, oh, I knew that. Cool. Sold off everything at the top, bought the bottom, ran it back up, sold that too, killing it. I'm like, I don't believe you. I think you're full of shit. And I bet my whole bag that you're full of shit, and you can show me the receipts.
There you go. Because there are receipts.
All right,
out
guys.
there
I would need to go.
I think we're ending it.
Yeah, we're ending it now.
Okay.
Or do you have like 2 minutes? We'll shut it down.
Sure.
Okay.
For you, 2 minutes.
All right, we are shutting it down. All right. Any just like last housekeeping item, Fumble Fridays, somehow, some way, Paul and Randy actually won a game again.
That's
and
a nice change up.
This,
they both chose the same team.
Yeah,
bro.
so this is the one that will never end. So perhaps they can win again, or one of them will win week 9. And then Freddie, myself, and Be Kind are still alive in the second chance. So awesome, fun stuff there. I think that's pretty much it. There was one. Oh, yes, Mudhog. Better get that Hedron on. Special show alert. And this has changed since last week. November 10th, a week from tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a Hedron happy hour, or as Motley likes when I call it, the Mega Hedron show. We got Crypto Sloth, Crypto Graphics, Blue Bum. It's going to be a big old Hedron chat. So come on by for that. A lot of good Hedron minds. There you go.
When was that happening?
Next a week from tonight at 6
Thursday, I think he's Thursday, right?
Thursday.
Yeah. So I'll tweet it out.
10th?
Yes.
Oh, exciting.
Yes. So the time is because we want to make sure we got Sloth on, so he's got to get back home and all set. We were going to do it on the 11th, but he's got a flight at that time, so we moved it up a night. So again, follow all the socials. We'll tweet it out. Patrick, since you got to go, where can we find you?
So you can find me on Telegram at hex_lion. All the stuff we do from KSB TV. So that's like 3 guys. It's Mars, Ellen, and me. And the main person, next to us is Kaylin. She's like the head of planning, the head of organization. You can reach out to her over the website as well. And what are we doing? We are planning the Hex birthday. We are planning the Hex cruise. We are doing the Hexy Awards. And once PulseChain comes out, we will also start planning the 1 million Pulse tour. So thanks a lot for having me here, Cabana. Thanks for your feedback, guys. And to you, Hexy Bastard, have fun with the launch of your coin.
Shout out to Mars, the man behind the scenes.
I was going to say, have fun with your PP.
One more thing for your audience, to save them some money, because we talked about Hedron, we have Hexy Bastard here. So when you do those transactions, when you do those claims and mints and all that stuff, please wait for the weekend, wait for the way to go under 10, for example, and then go in the advanced settings and then put it on the actual low of the gas prices right now. Because, for example, with the PP free claim yesterday, it wanted like 45 Gwei from me, but the low was like around 20 So that saved me like more than 50% of the transaction fee from the free claim. So just and that's the same like for the Hedron mints. Yeah, do that. Best to do that is weekend.
Boom.
Nice,
There you go. Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by and spending hours with us now.
Thanks.
And
Yeah,
it was
thanks
good
to you
chat.
guys.
I'm
You know,
like,
I always like it with you chatting as well.
yeah, I love
with
it
you
with you,
guys.
man. And I'm just, it gets me excited for the Pulse tour, whatever it is. It got the Hex tour
Someday.
feelings all over again. Yeah. So good stuff coming hopefully in 2023. So
yeah. So thanks a lot for having me, and yeah, bye. Have a good time, guys.
see you.
Later,
Thanks, Patrick.
Peace.
Hexy Bastard.
Hello.
Where can we find you and your PP? Or wait, something like that.
Don't worry about me. Just go to poorpleb.win and claim your free PP.
Big K likes free coins, I've heard.
I love.
Yeah, I bet you've already dumped some, haven't you, sir?
PP all day.
There you go.
Yeah,
And
just
go
there and like
I dumped free coins, but like I like the PP. It's funny
You
stuff.
like to hang on to the PP. Yeah,
You gotta hold your PP,
you know?
man.
I
You
mean,
gotta
it's
look after it.
one with big bags, maybe. There you go. Thanks, Motley,
Your
for
PP
that.
is
visual.
always close to your sack.
There you go. Endless material. Motley Investor, where can we find you? Everywhere.
Yep.
Same with this. There you go. Big K, where can we find you?
Same. There we go. Same thing. Big Kurkowski,
There
Twitter,
you
Telegram. Keep an eye out on the highest of stakes. As you saw, we've got something cooking. So
November 13th, some sort of surprise.
yeah, I think we'll be able to highly speculate on what on a further level next Friday when we're all hanging out. So
Bold claim, sir. Bold claim.
I like it.
I mean, we did some speculating this time. We can do some higher level.
I missed it. What we speculate on? What was
the highest of stakes? Well, yeah, you missed. I had gone to see the highest of stakes to the symphony. I was at the orchestra recording. It was
That was
really
cool, I'm
incredible.
sure.
It was probably. I mean, I've done a shit ton. I've done a shit ton of musical stuff, dude. And like the coolest thing
level.
I've done musically like wise. Like I've seen bands record in the studio that are tight, but like 40-piece orchestra. That she's the girl Hannah who wrote all the custom scored everything for the movie was in there. Just like
She looks
giving
crazy. Yeah.
amazing notes. Like
Next level.
change this to a B flat. Change this to an octave higher. Do this like this, and then the whole orchestra would just nail it every time. It was just like mind blowing. So like
It was
we were there.
done in a church, right? Like was it
Yeah,
a
it was
church?
an
thing?
Ocean Way is like an old converted church, super legendary studio, like super legendary. I mean, like all these awesome soundtracks. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, all that shit, tons of old amazing country shit. All that stuff was recorded there. Super awesome place.
Probably
So,
just
like,
hits differently with that orchestra like that.
Oh yeah, it was like nothing I've ever, dude. It's so fucking cool. So like it was cool to be a part of that. And then we were, I saw what they got cooking up too. That's coming out on the 13th too. You'll see some run up to it too. We got some fun stuff. I might have a clip or two for us
Cabana wants
on the show
spoilers.
next week.
He's like, give me spoilers.
I already asked.
I might have a spoiler for you for next week. I might have.
There we
little
go. So
Nipsey or
tune in.
something.
There you go. There's your hook, sir.
There's your hook. We leave you this happy hour with a thought from Thothschild. Even though you guys are total dicks, this is one of my top 10 programs the last 2 years.
From
Top
one PP
10,
to another.
let's
Thanks,
go.
brother. Appreciate
Thanks,
that.
bro.
Yo, Thothschild, go live. I'll hop on. He's always bugging me to hop on, but I'm like in bed at like 1 or 2 in the morning. I'm just like, I'm not getting on stream. go live now and I'll hop on.
There you go. Go live. And yes, Sloth is, we're still going. Go back and just shout you out a week from tonight. Mega Hedron stream, Hedron happy hour, whatever you want to call it. Big events coming there. Highest of stakes, awesome stuff. So we will see you guys next week. Thank you, everybody, for hanging around for so long. Good chat. Good chat.
Appreciate
Cheers,
it,
everybody.
all.